He doesn't like my name.
Don't worry about that. It's a terrible name. He wants to call the show Encyclopedia Nerdtanica. That's not the name. The name of the show is Back Issues. Welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
We're going to talk about one or two comics. I don't know. I had a bunch of comics on my kitchen table, and Ethan was like, "What is this?" And it spiraled into this. So, kick it off.
All right.
That's really the whole book. He's like, "Ew, no," and he like gets rid of it. The Fantastic Four keep it,
And it's like resentful
and it gets angry.
Well, jilted love.
Okay,
It's a girlfriend. It's a girlfriend he doesn't want.
Yeah, it's actually an allegory for every ex that you've ever had.
It's this
cruel,
like draining thing.
Yeah,
Just
well, that's the
latch
thing.
onto you and don't let go.
Yeah, that's really more.
And they won't go
Venom
away.
doesn't drain you.
Every
until
girlfriend
later.
you've ever had has been like that, right? Every single one.
Everyone.
Okay.
So that he can figure shit out.
And he's like in the jungle now?
Venom
Like, what?
cryogenically freezes Spider-Man and then flies him via a charter plane to a tropical island to fight him.
Okay. Like 1 minute he's like in like hallways and shit.
Yeah.
And then like.
Well, in this story,
and then he's
Spider-Man
on
gets a
island.
call because Spider-Man is a grad student in this book, in this continuity.
Okay.
And he gets a call from one of his professors, and his professor's like, "Hey, we're gonna check out this new cryogenics lab,
Okay.
and we wanted you to check it out with us." And it's kind of like, why? What a weird thing. But Spider-Man's like, "Ooh, I can use it to freeze Venom, and then I don't know, deal with him later."
Oh.
So but what happened was Venom
like
manipulated the guy and made him and lured him there.
Oh, so then
then
Spider-Man gets frozen.
Exactly.
So, can I ask a question about the flight safety and not having to check certain things where it's like, hi, I'd like to charter a plane. All right, do you have any baggage? Well, I have this about 6 foot long metal trunk with a frozen guy inside.
Yeah.
But don't worry, I have a permit.
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't even the cryogenics room freezes Spider-Man, and then he can just pick up Spider-Man. So he doesn't even need a box.
He just thaws out naturally.
Yeah, he just
and
wakes up eventually.
That's
Yeah,
not how that works.
all
You
powered.
can freeze frogs and they'll come back.
Yeah, more or less all
you can freeze a
super.
bee.
Yeah.
Tie a little piece of floss around the midsection, and then when it wakes up, you have a bee on a leash.
Is that a thing? Have you done that?
I saw that.
I tried, but
on
it kept
TV.
waking up.
It kept waking up.
Kept waking up. How many times were you stung by this abused bee?
How many bees
Choose
did
not
you
to
go
comment.
through on this?
That's what I want to know.
Just picturing you sting you, just
Damn
smash
it!
and
All
get
right.
another one from the jar.
Give me another from the
Hand me
jar.
another bee. Hand me another bee.
My issue with this is that you're saying this is a Marvel Knights book, but it doesn't have the Marvel Knights logo on it.
No.
Yeah, so how do you know it's Marvel Knights?
Well, because you read it back in the day.
Oh, I see. So now they're
this
like,
is just
nobody
so-
knows what that is, just put Spider-Man
Bingo,
on top.
because the idea with that they had around by the time 2004 / this book came out, they were like they used the term Marvel Knights to mean all-star.
Okay.
It was for evergreen titles, books that were in continuity but weren't heavily reliant on it.
Okay.
They were just they were basically like they didn't want to say it out loud, but it's how about some good stories people could read over and over again. Instead of like a utterly forgettable Avengers story where they flirt with the idea of Spider-Man joining the team and then they go into space and they fight Gunther. Like
And Spider-Man's useless?
Yeah, like who gives a shit about that story?
Right.
Especially our viewers. The idea with this is more like, no, these are essential stories that you can't ignore and that you can read anytime and enjoy them.
Okay.
Paul Jenkins was like doing weird shit with supplemental characters. He's creating new characters and adding them to Peter Parker's life. Straczynski's doing the exact same thing, but in totally different places. And they are so just diametric.
Interesting.
That there's like no correlation between the two books.
So they're
but
disconnected,
also
but
still
they're
good.
still really selling.
They're still selling and they're still solid. They're critically good. And then they're like, and how about one more where we do the exact same thing? So no matter what version of Spider-Man you want to read, it's written by a major creator who's doing totally different things with him that is directly influencing the continuity. And also doesn't pay attention to anything that either of them are doing.
So you got 3 books that are all basically saying, fuck you, this is what Spider-Man's doing.
Yes.
Right. Doesn't matter what you're doing.
That are going, tally-ho!
And we'll let them sort it out after.
Yes.
Like how it all comes.
Oh, yeah.
And all the fanboys are like, how does this work?
I don't even know if they were. I was reading, and what happened was I read Paul Jenkins, Peter Parker, and I was like, no. And then I read Straczynski, and I went, yeah. And then I read the first 2 issues of this, and I went, no. And I just stuck with Straczynski. That was my book. Then I reread it, and I'm like, all right. All right, I get what you're doing.
All right, see, I was concerned because you were really setting us up for like, and then we'll do it again. We'll do the exact same thing.
And it failed.
And it was going to suck.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
It's-
This is the All-Star Batman and Robin of Marvel Knights. That's what I was expecting.
kind of. He really tries to infuse like a street vernacular into Spider-Man.
Right.
You know, like he says "man" a lot. He says like "yo." He says things like "who's your daddy?" And if
he says like, chill, and bro, let's chill, and let's just chill.
you want to get
bro.
some beers? Spider-Man is in essence a bro. So Spider-Man beats the hell out of Osborn. At one point, he's punching him as he's yelling, "Who's your daddy?" And then someone says, "The mailbox, Spider-Man! Hit him with the mailbox!" Like it's a goddamn WCW. So Spider-Man,
WCW. Wow.
And then Spider-Man's like,
no,
WWE.
Talking about dating yourself.
get out of here, Grandpa.
You know what it is? It was because we were doing Good, Bad, and the Ugly, and I'm looking through these ads for these old comics. So that's my frame of reference. I don't watch wrestling, so I don't know. So Spider-Man sticks Mary Jane into a cab and says, "You got to get out of here because I can't deal with
'cause you're
this."
not safe.
So then he calls Black Cat, his old
Oh, yeah.
girlfriend. Right?
Hey, Mary Jane's gone.
Yeah, you want to come
wanna
up here and help
over?
me solve a mystery? The mystery is what's in my pants.
That was
so
bad.
So not cool. I'm down.
No,
Yeah.
no, that was just it.
I'm not down.
I was, but that's
Yeah.
no.
Now you have
Try
to
again tomorrow.
Now live with it. Now I've rejected you. You've broken your sacred vow, and I'm not going to help you. You don't even get the satisfaction of banging Black Cat again.
Well, then he's like, well, technically I didn't break my vow.
Yeah. Well, no, but you broke it in your heart. So that's your biggest failure. It's like when Punisher made Daredevil try to kill him with the gun, even though he took the firing gun out. Anyway, so Spider-Man silence lambs it up. He goes to Norman Osborn, who's in jail, and Norman Osborn cliches the scene. "Oh, is there a problem? Is your Aunt May missing?"
Oh my god.
And Spider-Man's like, "Damn it! Like I know you did something about it." He's like, "Me?
I've been in here.
Exactly." And you're like, "God damn it!"
Could you not do the thing?
That everyone does, or that people
Do
expect.
what thing?
What
is
thing?
it? What are you talking about?
All right,
Pro
if you're-
quo, Spider-Man.
All right, if you're gonna act like that, I'm just gonna leave.
Okay,
They
well,
just
good.
go.
Yeah.
Where are you going? But then you'll never. Hey!
Whoa, we're doing a thing.
No, you're doing a thing. I'm trying to find out where my aunt is. And by the way, the thing you're doing sucks.
Yeah. By the way, you suck at it. And I webbed your feet to the floor. And Vulture and Electro have pulled off a job where they have a whole bunch of money, a bunch of like millions of dollars in a briefcase.
Okay.
And they're supposed to go and like deal with it, but instead, Electro wants to go to a creepy brothel and bang this mutant woman who can turn into anyone. Her power, she can transfer. Because she's like not traditionally beautiful.
Okay.
And so Vulture is like, "What is this all about, Electro? Like, why do you want to bang her out of all people?" And she's
I
like,
want her to be Spider-Man.
"Yeah,
And then I'll finally fuck Spider-Man.
yes,
Wait, what?
yes."
You have to be shitting me.
I'm not.
What the?
They have a scene where she's like, "Who do you want me to be today? You want me to be Mr. Fantastic's wife? Do you want me to be Wanda Maximoff or Namorita?" And he goes, "Well, you know, last time I was in jail, the other prisoners awakened something in me that I've never thought I had, and so I was hoping that I could get a crack at." And then he opens the door and Spider-Man's there, and Spider-Man's like, "Sorry to spoil the party, Romeo." And then they have an awful dialogue.
Well,
where,
I'm sorry I said that.
yeah, no, he says, "I've always wanted a crack at Spider-Man," and you're like, "What?" So Mark Miller's like, "Yeah, no, Electro's gay for Spider-Man, right? That's cool and edgy and fun."
Okay.
And readers, I remember the internet being like,
yeah.
"What have you done?" And it's like, "Oh no, you've ruined Max Dillon forever." Like, no, whatever.
No.
It's just kind of like how
out
out
of
of place
field,
and weird.
yeah.
And Spider-Man's like plummeting to his doom, and he's like, "Well, this is it. I got no web blind. There's nothing I can do. I'm not friends with Iron Man yet."
Right.
So that's the end of that. And then Black Cat swings out of nowhere and catches him
Wow.
and shows off some massive boobage.
Well, it's the impact of the hit.
Yeah.
Everything gets jostled.
I tell you, no, it makes
Whoa,
sense.
whoa!
sense in the
It makes
context
sense.
of the
This
scene.
is art.
Let's not diminish the artistic implications that are tossed around
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Whoa. This isn't gratuitous. This is essential. So Black Cat.
But yeah, holy Jesus, that's a chest butt.
Yeah. So then Matt Gargan plays himself, goes back to his apartment where the Venom symbiote is, and he's like, "What up?" Like,
You want to be a Venom scorpion?
yeah.
What's a scorpion with that little sting? I'm sorry. With that little
without
venom.
There you go.
Can you come back in? I want to take that again.
Let's redo that.
What? I'm sorry. I had it rehearsed. I was ready to go. You know what? Fuck you. I'll go to Electro. So, but no, it's funny. Actually, it's awful.
What's a little shock without some venom? That makes no sense.
What? Damn it! I really you know what? Scorpion was the way to go. Are there any poison-based villains of Spider-Man's besides Scorpion? Electro, do you know? So then, Gargan's gonna put the Scorpion suit on, and Venom's like, "Hey, no, don't do that. You should be Venom." And then he says, like, come on, we can be friends. He goes, I got enough friends. And he says, but you've never had a friend like me. And you're like, are you doing a goddamn motherfucking Aladdin reference?
Abracadabra.
Yeah. Like, no, because he's like big, and why don't you ruminate while trying to illuminate the possibility? Miller, you should take a nap and then get back to the typewriter. Like,
I'm sorry, my kids love Aladdin. I had to put it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Shocker goes to the Venom auction, and then we never see him again. Because he's outbid. That's the end of that.
Shows up in it.
So,
All right, bid. I have $500.
The opening bid is $300,000.
Well, then I am done.
He just puts away his wallet.
Just leaves.
Thank you. Good night.
He puts his fucking Shocker costume in the garbage. He goes to a bank for the first time as a man and says, I would like to open an account. I have $500 and I'd like an application.
And they slide him a toaster.
Yeah. Truly, I am the Shocker. And then he sneaks into Gordon's house while Gordon's getting up in the morning because it's like 6. And he's like, hey, so I need you to dig into some records for me. And he's like, weren't you supposed to bring Catwoman back? And he's like, yeah, she escaped.
Could you
and
not
he's like,
show up in my bathroom when I'm in my underwear brushing my teeth?
No.
You missed your molars. That was exactly 67 seconds. You got another 53 to go, my friend.
I'll time you. So, actually, it's 6 in the morning. Do you have a spare toothbrush? With former Spawn artist Greg Capullo, or Capullo. I say Capullo because of the umlaut, but but everyone in the comments always tells me it's Capullo. I don't care at all.
Someone's
So-
like, it's Capello.
right, like, you know who says that? The guy.
You know who says that? Someone who's ordering like an Italian sandwich.
Yeah, Capullo.
I'll have some Capolo and provolone.
But yeah, they're not. I don't care. So you can just keep commenting about it, but move on. And he is Talon. He is an assassin for the Court of Owls.
Okay.
All the assassins for the Court of Owls are called Talons. They have no identity, and but he's Talon.
He's like,
He looks badass, but the first shot we have of him with these goggles on make it look like his pupils are giant. Yeah, like he's wearing
like he looks like an owl.
Excuse me.
That's horrifying. Don't turn on any lights though, because my pupils are dilated.
It's worse than shush.
Yeah, that is worth the shit. I don't like that. It's like they're laughing at you. But so Batman is just kicking the shit out of all kinds of gangs, trying to get any information about the Court of Owls.
Okay.
And we meet one gang that totally sucks, called the Whisper Gang. And their tongues are cut out, and they have these special things over their faces, and you're like, all right. But he kicks their ass.
That's
and
so they can't talk.
Right.
Yeah, so like, why are they the Whisper Gang? They should be the Silent Gang.
I agree. Well, because they whispered secrets, I think. I think the idea is that all of them had some kind of thing. The point is, the reason he invented them is so he can activate an electromagnet so their fucking faces could get attached to the subway car that's now driving by.
Okay.
And then they all get dragged off by the subway car?
Yeah.
And then they all
That's
die.
hilarious!
Yeah, and then he's...
So Batman kills all those guys. Okay.
basically... No, they're suspended by their necks!
Yeah.
going 80 miles
not
per
gonna
hour.
scrape them against like poles and
Oh,
shit.
no, I'm sure Batman deactivated the car using a remote transmitter or something.
Yeah.
No, he forgot about it.
But the base of the structure you built is made of softer materials from the walls. So I knew that like my thermite couldn't break through the walls, but they can break through your fucking fountain. And
Okay.
so
he
he
gets
like
his belt back, right, from the town?
No.
Oh, how does
No.
he have thermite then?
he has it in his boot.
Oh.
He has all kinds. He has lockpicks in his gloves and stuff.
Okay.
But there's no locks to pick here. But he winds up like he's like, I couldn't light my thermite without the filament from your camera.
Oh.
So he lights the charge, blows up the floor, and he says, and I'll be back for all of you. And then he falls through the floor into the river and gets flowed through away. And he's like, and it's funny because he's like, I was talking a big game. I'm lucky if I fucking make it out of this goddamn river.
Right.
But I gotta be Batman about
I'm gonna
it.
get you all! I'm gonna... Am I gone? Oh, Jesus!
holding that in for a week.
Oh my god.
That's the greatest shame of Batman.
Bats don't fart. It's biologically, they can't. I can't break the illusion. I can't break character.
It just becomes Danny Ketch, and he's just like cruising down the road, and he's just like, "What's a guy from Brooklyn doing in this like suburb of New York?" I got a letter.
For anything, really. I mean, like, he's
He
probably...
got a
You can do
letter.
whatever you want. You're on a motorcycle.
Yeah, but he usually
Joe
hangs out in the
Cocker fan.
city. He's just like,
Right.
I don't get it. Like, I'm from the city, and I live
Is
there.
that
and I
normally
love
how
it.
people muse when they're in places that they're unfamiliar with? Like,
Yes.
I can't believe I'm in this grocery store. I usually get things from the supermarket. Like,
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is so crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I went to the McDonald's, but usually I'm a Burger King kind of person. What's a Big Mac?
Yeah. What mystery is man? Yeah. As a matter of fact, the
problem
Mon
with-
Calamarians are actually pacifists
Yeah.
that...
Yeah, they built star cruisers that were like luxury, like it was like when you go on a cruise and you go on like a carnival boat, like that.
Yeah.
So it's like Fifth Element when
Yeah,
they
it's
go
like-
Yes.
to Lost in Paradise.
Yeah, and they
I was gonna
converted it to like
get
a
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Veitch, he wants to retcon the Mon Calamarians, who, by the way, he just calls the Calamari. And I'm like, no. You're going to pull everything apart if you call them food.
Yeah.
That's the other
I
thing.
assume he doesn't go out a whole lot.
I doubt it.
He doesn't get out much.
You know,
No.
it's just, look, he's
I
overwhelmed
don't get
with
out
work.
much.
As you can see, my skin doesn't exactly have a rosy glow bleached by the sun.
Not that I wouldn't clean up if I did.
I mean, certainly. So anyway, he's like, okay, so like, I can't die and you lose, so like, you should totally become my apprentice. And Luke's like, okay.
What?
And you're like, wait, what? And it's because Luke has a plan. And he's like, and the plan is, because he's like, read books about the Jedi arts or whatever,
Yeah.
that like, some Jedi have attempted to, and basically the ultimate goal of the Jedi is to destroy the dark side from within. So Luke's like, cool, the Emperor's giving me an opportunity to like,
Whoa, let's just say destroy the dark side.
yeah.
So like no one can use the dark side anymore if you do this.
Fuck if I know what that means. Although Han does offer them like 100,000 credits or something like that.
Does he
Is,
have
is,
that?
is that a lot?
Is that a little? I don't know.
what that means.
Yeah, they're in Alliance credits, so it's like Disney bucks. The economics of Star Wars are complicated at
Even
best.
if we knew the amount, we couldn't convert it to like 5 years after Return of the Jedi
No,
credits because
sure.
I'm sure inflation went out of control.
Oh
and
my
they
god, the
destroyed
entire government fell apart. There's no military. What are you
Yeah.
gonna... And they're still fighting? Come on.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. No, I'm not saying Republic credits. Republic credits are no good out here. I need something more real. Unfortunately, there is no scene like that, nor is there a great character like Watto. So Luke leaves, and the Emperor's like, excellent. Like, Leia, you can stay here. I've got a droid that like holds you, so you can't go anywhere. So yeah, you want to be a Jedi? That's awesome. I've got this Jedi holocron here.
Oh, damn it.
no!
And it has all kinds of information from thousands of years of Jedi. I've read a billion Jedi books and listened to a million Jedi holocrons, and so I've learned my powers are X to the 10 millionth, and so there's nothing you can do about it. Like, because he knows that Luke is like he's like your brother thinks that he's like let world devastators break. Like, sure, one. I've got like 1,000 of them. There's nothing he can do. Like, let him think that he's beating me. The longer he thinks he's beating me, the longer I actually am beating him. He's playing a game. I'm playing an even bigger game. And you're like,
He's playing checkers. I'm playing chess.
and this is the character that George is like, no, you can use the Emperor, but knock yourself out. Probably because like he read one book by this guy. And he's like, oh no, you can't have Vader. You'll make him fucking stupid. And you could have the Emperor be an undignified douchebag. Which is hilarious as well, because the Emperor is like, he's undignifiedly like pushed off a bed. He's like, "Argh!" And then George will steal that maneuver later when Yoda pushes him over a table and everything's CG except for that one shot of Ian McDarby going, yeah! Falling over the one piece of plastic set they made.
Yeah.
So he falls over and she leaves and he's like, oh yes, that's part of my... Oh, she took the holocron. Oh, that wasn't part of the plan. How could that not be part of the plan? You
left it
put
right
it
there.
in her hand, and then you lie down like an old man. What the hell's the matter with you?
Happening?
And he's like, and by the way, like this final confrontation between Luke and the Emperor takes place in the Emperor's cloning room. Luke's like, you failed. I'm going to defeat you. And he goes, well, then I must die. And then he just explodes.
What? He explodes?
He explodes himself?
Yeah,
How?
because
He uses his force
he uses his force ability to kill
to blow
himself.
himself up.
So he does.
It's just like, well, how do you move that rock over there? Well, I push it with the force. Well, I just push every part of my body away from every other part with the force until it blows up.
That's the most gruesome thing I can possibly imagine. We were spared of that visual. We instead just have like light blast out of him. But so while the Emperor's like out of his own body, Luke just quickly just starts killing clones with his lightsaber, but he misses one and it jumps into a young like adult like a young man Emperor. He's like, too late. I'm alive and I'm still powerful and stuff. So oh, I guess I'm not old. So it's like, oh hey, yeah, I can beat you. Yeah.
Well, like no, he never could do that.
No, he
like,
could.
he just thought he could.
No, he
Yeah.
could.
He's
It's just
only
that he
ever
didn't.
gone to a clone before.
Yeah.
And he's like, if I tried really hard though, I could go into somebody else's body.
I could totally do
even
it.
a baby that doesn't even have like a brain or anything.
Yeah.
How would that even fucking work? I'm pretty sure I could do it.
So, like, if he was in there, would he be totally aware of it?
Right, he'd be like, oh no. Jeez, this is totally boring.
I'm totally conscious and aware of what's happening.
I have to wait for my body to even form.
I have nubs.
Yeah, I'm literally
It's
nothing.
like a waking nightmare. It's like that song One.
I totally get it now. And Justice for All is truly the greatest album of all time. Oh man, let's see if I can remember it. That'll pass the time. That's so metal. Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally do this for another 8 months. Oh Jesus!
Shit. If you let me tell you something. If you know nothing about the New 52, if you know even less about the pre-Flashpoint DC universe, this is definitely a jumping on point for everybody, because you are gonna not regret trying to read this stupid story. The funny thing is, it's short. It is hollow. It has no real substance. Nothing of interest or import happens in it, and yet it is intricate and complicated and dumb.
I love...
And there are so many tie-ins.
These quotes on the back of the book. The first one is amazing. A love letter to fans of these characters.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to stop publishing
Forever.
it. And we'll ask the creator of Superman to write the last Superman story.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, so she tracked him down, found him at a comic book convention, was like, you want to do it? And he's like, yeah. And then the lawyers were like, no. So then he was off the table. And they just didn't bother to do
Wait,
that
whose
again.
lawyers?
Everyone's. The Seagulls and the Schusters and the Superman thing was a complicated mess up until, like, very recently. So, like,
you're just going to
86
reopen.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah.
So instead, they asked Alan Moore. And Alan Moore's like, yeah, all right, I suppose I could do that. I guess I'll write the last Superman story ever.
If you want.
If you want that. Sounds like a real jogging good time, I suppose. So he wrote the story, and he treated it like it's the last Superman story ever.
Well, there you go. That's the answer to how they could have a baby. He didn't have any powers.
Yeah.
Powers, yeah.
But he had enough powers to pass it on.
Yeah, well,
Well, it's genetic.
it's genetic.
It's genetic.
He didn't, like,
Because the son
Jonathan
didn't get the golden kryptonite, right.
Exactly. So,
The kryptonite takes away your powers, but not the underlying cause of them.
not the DNA.
Right.
I guess.
But
Okay.
also, but I love it because Jordan Elliott, Jor-El, Superman's father.
Oh, that's cool.
That's more clever than I would have expected.
Well, it's Alan Moore. You see, anyone else, they'd be like, whatever. It's
Okay.
something else.
To be fair, though, Alan Moore's written some great things.
Yeah.
But,
He also wrote Youngblood
thank you.
and
that's
Spawn
after he
Wildcats.
gave up.
I'm just saying.
That's after he realized it was all bullshit.
Oh, you
Yeah.
bullshit.
At this point, he's still
He's still
trying a little bit.
I thought it'd be fun if his name was Jordan Elliott, you know, Jor-El. I mean, or not, fuck it.
Thanks, Alan. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you come on the show.
Maybe I'll call him Jasper Crispinson because it's Jesus Christ, because people think he's a Jesus allegory. Even though there's a vast misunderstanding of the character, he's more like Moses, but whatever. Anyway,
Nobody asked you, Alan.
I answer every question like someone's asked me something.
Right.
But lo and behold, it didn't work or stick, and you can bet your boots that because Jeff Johns is what? You don't like my bet your boots term?
I really heard bet your bottom dollar coming for some reason.
And you expected
You can bet your bottom dollar.
You can bet
And
your
I was
bottom
like-
dollar.
I was prepared to be like, what are you doing? He said boots. And I'm like,
That
boots?
threw you completely off.
Who says bet your boots? Is that a thing?
Who says bet your bottom dollar?
And at
Besides
least
Shirley
one
Temple.
movie.
So,
God damn it.
anyway, he goes out. It's another rocket ship.
Oh.
He flies out. He intercepts it. He catches it.
No, I can be the only one.
Well,
He pushes it into the
Yeah,
sun.
he throws it in the sun. No, he lets it land. He goes, that looks like mine. And he's ready to go, and he's ready to like do whatever, and then he hears a bark come out of it. And he says, "Oh," and that's all you see of Crypto. But like it's establishing because it has to be in continuity. Like
that he has
Crypto,
a super dog.
That he's a super dog, and that this science family put their fucking dog in the ship and not themselves, and sent them out.
There's only enough room for one.
Yeah,
honey, I think we know what we have to do.
So,
well, the problem is these spaceships it's physically impossible to make them any larger.
Yes,
they can only fit a thing like this big.
Well, and sometimes they explain that like science is outlawed in Krypton, and so it was like they had to keep it secret and small in order to actually like keep it hidden from the authority.
Right. If it was big enough for a human, it would be too big.
It would be too
big
noticeable
enough for a baby or a dog.
Yes,
that's just under the size.
Right. Or maybe the other capsule was made for a baby. And the dog jumped in first, and dogs being the
or the baby like died.
Yeah,
right
and they
before,
just let them.
Or couldn't make it.
That's
to the
very
house.
sad.
They're like the Johnsons are bringing their kid, but like I don't think they're gonna make it. We gotta.
Look, there's plumes of magma shooting up. Just throw the dog in there.
Yeah, we don't want to waste it.
I mean, I built this ship in violation of the science.
I don't want to waste it. I'm also not going to be cramped when I fly through space.
Yeah, screw it. I can make it. It's not going to close. Just do the best you can. I'll just hold it. I'll hold it closed. Just fire the damn rocket. That's not true, actually. Hal Jordan does wind up battling Mongul. Because Mongul, for some context, if you're not familiar with the Reign of Superman, just go watch the episode. But here's a quick recap of the end of that story that sets this up right quick. And it is that Mongul wants to turn the world, that is Earth, into a war world engine that he normally pilots. That's right, he wanted to turn the whole planet into like a spaceship that's also like a planet that is also like a gladiatorial mall.
But if you think about it, Earth is already a spaceship hurtling through space.
This is true.
Taking us on
But he wanted to go left.
Yeah. He didn't want to be around the sun anymore.
Nah, he wanted to take it off-road.
It wouldn't survive, though. That doesn't
I'm gonna auger this baby out!
No, we got a molten core. We'll stay warm for a while.
Well, no, because most of the world would have been converted into an engine. It would have been like a mechanical facsimile of the Earth.
I see.
On top of the regular Earth.
Plus, we could have had one of those sweet domes like in Spaceballs.
Yeah. I don't even know if we would have had domes.
We should have.
We should have. If he wants to have people on it of any type, he's going to need a dome. But he was going to build like a big goddamn like engine on the back. Yeah.
And take it where?
Wherever he wants.
Off-roading, apparently.
It's like when you have like
the end game of War World.
It's just that he wants to have a war world, and he wants to be able to take it wherever he wants.
And not only
I don't
that,
know if he has a destination in mind.
For what purpose?
That's because here's the thing.
Why can't he just do that on a planet
I'll tell you
that's just
why.
orbiting a sun?
Because Mongul is a crappy character, and there's only 2 good stories in which he is featured, none of which are the Reign of Superman, or this. So the Guardians, the story that the original writer had cooked up was like fake Guardians show up, and they're like, "Oh, Hal, you need to do this," and which one's the real set of Guardians?
Oh my god!
It's like don't shoot me, shoot both of us, and the editors went, "That sucks. You're fired." And they came up with this like over a week, and they're like, "If the Superman people can make up something in over a weekend, we can change everything for Green Lantern 2 over a weekend." And then they did, and they wrote the story themselves. Just the editorial team of Green Lantern just sat down one night, they hashed out a plan, and they called Ron Mars, and they were like, "Hey, Ron." And he's like, "What?" And they're like, "Write Green Lantern now." And he's like, "What?" And they're like, "Here you go. Here's the story." Well, I didn't come up with the story. "Don't worry, we've got it. Here it is." And so Ron Mars takes over Green Lantern, rips it straight from the hands of this other guy, kicks him to the curb, and completely uproots the Green Lantern mythos. So the story with Green Lantern and Green Arrow ended with Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, sad that Coast City is destroyed, but kind of like bucking up and realizing that like you are going to lose a few and it's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And then this happens. Like, next! Like, he literally is just sitting in the ruined husk of Coast City, looking over a doll from presumably a dead child, and weeping over his fallen city. So like he goes from like, "It's gonna be great, the sun will come out," and then fucking goes, "Wait, never mind."
But then he sees a doll.
And then he sees a doll. He's like, "You know what, I'm gonna take one more pass over Coast City and say my farewell." Oh my god!
Okay.
But he also can make like guns and stuff. They can shoot
Yeah.
missiles, and they don't show like the missile like
Having, like,
trailing
lines.
from his ring and like the
Right.
gun disappearing because now you don't need the gun because it fired the missile. Like, don't think about it too hard. But
That's
you
not
do-
what we're here
but,
for.
But the Guardian is physical in as much as it's a physical
Yeah, it could punch it.
construct. It could punch him,
Right.
but Hal punches it and then steals its power.
What?
Because the Guardians go like, "Hey, you can't be a Green Lantern anymore because you've violated the sacred oath of the Lanterns."
What does that mean?
Which is like you've used the ring for personal gain. Which is like, what kind of quantum leap horseshit is that?
Not only that, you're always using the ring for personal
Yeah,
gain.
if you-
I don't want to die.
Oh
Ring.
no! Yeah, I want to fly through space. I've created a fucking bubble around myself. Like
Yeah, that's
I'm hungry or I'm gonna die of
personal
starvation. I made a sandwich. Although, can a Green Lantern make a sandwich that he
It
can
wouldn't
make
provide him with any nutrition.
nourishment? Like, would it? Like,
Hard light is not nutritious.
No.
I
Well, or
assume.
it isn't. You know, who knows? But the point is that the Guardians are like, you're the greatest Green Lantern of all of us. You've literally saved the universe a couple times, and we've all agreed you're the best one. And you are going through a horribly traumatic experience. You did nothing to anyone. It's not like he used his ring to raise the corpses of them and reanimate them like perverse puppets. What's amazing is, okay, so Jack Chance, some asshole, becomes a Green Lantern, right? He fights people with his lantern ring, and then once he's beaten them down with the lantern ring, he takes out his gun and shoots them in the face. The Guardians put him on probationary leave.
But he
Hal
still gets to be a
Jordan-
Guardian.
Hal Jordan makes ghosts. They take his ring away.
I'm sorry, lady.
Yeah, that's insane.
Fuck the Guardians! And while Hal Jordan is mopping the galaxy with the rest of the Corps, the Guardians have like a conversation about like how they go, man, Hal Jordan's really like mopping the floor with our people.
Yeah, but
This
did you
is-
see that guy? That Chance guy? Like, the planet he came from was terrible. He was the best of them.
So anyway, Sinestro is cool in this scene because he goes, hey Hal, let me tell you this story about how like there was this awesome guy named Sinestro, and he was the best Green Lantern among them. And then the Guardians brought in this noob named Hal Jordan from Earth, and they were like, watch this guy because he's new and he's scary and he doesn't really know what he's doing, but maybe one day like he could be almost as great as you. And I looked at myself and I was like, there's no way that this kid is ever going to amount to anything. And then I was right. And Hal's like,
Because look at you.
because look, they fucking pulled me out of the battery and it sucks in there because you don't have a physical body and it totally blows. So I'm going to take it all out on you. Oh, because Parallax Mini is very powerful.
No,
Just
No!
leave Sinestro dead.
No!
How will we have our cake and eat it too?
I'm Jeff Johns! I love Hal Jordan and Barry Allen! I need Sinestro! And I also don't like that Guy Gardner is like not a Green Lantern too, so he's a Green Lantern too! You better be careful or I'll bring everything that I liked when I was a kid back! Oh wait, I did?
All right.
Hopefully I'm as good a writer as I say I am and you guys all buy it! Oh, you did? Well then I'm gonna do a sequel to Watchmen!
So she shows up and she's figured out that the actor's name is Hunter Todd.
Okay.
And Hunter Todd is the guy we're looking for now. And so here's the line that they had to change. She says, so I guess the best way to get a lead on Trisha would be to play a little cat and mouse with the flavor of the month. And if Hunter Todd's the mouse, then that makes me the cat.
Yeah.
The line was the big pussy.
I
And
knew that was coming, but I was not expecting the big part.
And Joe Quesada's like, no.
You pulled that.
Pass.
Pass. How about the cat?
Yeah.
I like that. That ties into the cat and mouse thing I did.
So Robin is like getting his ass kicked, and he's like, "Not in the face! I can't handle it anymore." So he runs off with Ariana. He's like, "Hey, can you just wait here?" She's
Can you try not to get captured for like 5 minutes?
and she's like, "What? Yeah, I guess." And so he leaves. Meanwhile, KG Beast is torturing Huntress. He's like squeezing her neck to cut off the blood flow to her brain so she falls unconscious, and then he like lets her go just before she loses consciousness. And he's like, "This is an old Soviet technique that I used to use."
Sure.
So then it's great because Robin shows up and he kicks the KG Beast in the back of the head. And then Huntress uses an old ComicPOP favorite. She flips out the front end of her boot, which turns into a knife. And then she stuns the comic
He got fucked.
Unfortunately, there is no onomatopoeia. We can add one, I'm
Yes.
sure. I select thuck.
Yeah.
And it's such by Joe Quesada that it is just called Iron Man by Joe Quesada.
There's subtitle.
It is also referred to as the mask in the Iron Man.
I'm sorry. The mask
That
in the Iron
sucks.
Man.
That sucks! That represents everything that this book is about. Where it's like, I think I'm being really clever. And as it turns out, someone else did it a lot better.
But don't you understand? I used the words Iron Man.
Because it's iron,
Right?
and
There's
it's
a
the
mask,
man,
but
but
he wears a mask.
I can't
and
say
there's
the
that
man in the Iron
book.
Man, but I can say the mask. Oh, and it's a little flipperoo. Sucks.
Does the story at all parallel the man?
The man in that mask? No.
Okay, so it just sucks then.
It
Well-
just sucks. I mean, like, okay.
Well, no. He wears an iron mask.
Yes.
Except it's not iron.
There is a bit of a duplicate.
Okay. All right. So there's
Something. That is where it begins and ends. Throughout the story that had been leading up to this, he had been constantly modifying and upgrading and updating his armor so that it could do other things. And in fact, it does some cool things in this story, or cool that they're cool to Tony
Does
Stark.
it fly into pieces that each individually fly and then like reassemble? on
No,
them?
it
Okay.
flies into like one case and then it just like all comes out. But no, it doesn't do what it does in Iron Man 3.
Okay.
But yeah, because it would have to have each piece of his armor would have to have its own propulsion system.
Yeah. Just like, how is that possible?
How is that possible? The faceplate has a jet that
that's
can
enough
fly across
fuel to
continents.
fly.
It's repulsor beams.
Yeah,
That's one has a little arc reactor in it.
What? But whatever.
It's not like random people on the street are doing it. Oh, cool. He's driving a Prowler. That sucks.
But it's 1999 or 2000.
That's
so,
the
yeah.
coolest car that's ever come. It's like a hot rod.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, and then he drives, and she's like, "This is awesome! I'm having a great time!" And he's like, "Jesus Christ, sit the hell down and shut up." She's like, "Whoa, you don't get it! Like, I'm a free spirit." And then she like leaves.
Yeah, she's a raging free spirit.
Why does he like her? Why does she spend any time with him?
Because they're in the relationship of the book.
What
and then,
the hell?
And then some fireworks go off, and that's when Whiplash, real Whiplash, but he's been revamped. See, he wears whips, so like it stands to reason that like a revamp of Whiplash would make him into like, you know, an S&M bondage type guy.
No!
Like a Gimp from Pulp Fiction.
God.
So Whiplash attacks.
That is so two-dimensional.
Yeah, and then he wakes up, and it's been a few seconds,
Okay.
and this kid is about to take his
And the whole
faceplate
thing
off.
served no purpose.
Yeah. Yep.
And we still don't know what the fuck this book is about.
No, but now it's going to reveal itself.
Oh,
Because
okay.
he basically catches up to himself, and the armor says again, like, "Help me, Tony, I'm dying." And he's like, "Who is that?" And the armor's like, "Help me, I'm in pain." And he's like, "No, who are you?" And he flies into the sky, and it's like, "Help me, and he's like, "Who are you?" And the armor says, "I am Iron Man." No, we don't own that. So then they check his heart out, and they're like, you know, it's pretty good. I mean, it just had a heart attack. You know, here's the thing,
that's not bad.
you're susceptible to heart attacks. That's all. And he's like, and so we've got that problem.
Now that you've had one, you're going to have more.
Plus the problem of the sentient armor. He's like, this is impossible. I have safeguards in place to prevent sentience in my armor because, like, I have been playing with the AI, you know, but, like, not to the point where it should be able to be self-aware. And Yocasta says that he didn't account for Y2K.
No.
Oh my god.
So
No.
the armor becomes self-aware.
Because the armor thinks that it's like 1900 instead of 2000, it becomes self-aware.
No, it's just because Y2K, Ethan. It's not the real reason why Y2K exists. It's for the reason that Y2K is a problem before Y2K occurred. You see, you know, when people thought that, like, planes were going to fall out of the sky.
Everything's going to go nuts.
And, like, nuclear missiles were going to go off and shit. And also, like, Iron Man's armor was going to, like, become a person. Before the fight, Rumiko goes to Stark's house, and she's like, we can do this, Tony! And Iron Man's like, we can get back together and work things out. And the armor's like, you should probably go, Rumiko. Stark and I have a lot to work out. And she's like, oh, you're listening to Iron Man instead of me? And then she leaves, and you're like, oh my god.
She says, I love you again.
Yep,
and he
still
says
nothing. Because this...
Hey, that's it, man. Twice?
That's
and
it.
you said nothing?
Yep.
Nope. It's over.
Well, the reason why he doesn't say anything this time, because he realizes that he loves her, is
It's to protect her.
It's to
Right,
protect
because
her.
if the suit knows,
Then the suit will try to kill her because the suit is in love with him.
that's fucked up.
Yeah. And I'm like, this. Okay, so no comics code, pre-Disney acquisition. The suit's in love with him, and people can curse and stuff. Why isn't there a moment where it's like, we could totally fuck Iron Man? Like, just get inside me, and I'll just get inside me.
I want you inside me.
There's no moment with a bondage whiplash in this book. There's no moment where it's like, I just come inside me, Tony. There's no moment of that in this book, which is like, I think I wasted an opportunity.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
this book is already a dumpster fire. Why not make it totally gross and stupid? You and me are gonna make it out of here. Maybe you.
Right.
But mostly me, and I'm gonna use you to get out of here. But we've gotta go. It starts raining, and so they seek shelter under this construct. It's acid rain, or some kind of horrible, debilitating rain. But she says, apparently when the lanterns ran things, the rain didn't burn your flesh, but it does.
But now it does.
And so Jordan's like, whoa, the lanterns ran. Are we on Oa right now? Mm-hmm. She's like, yeah. He's like, that must be why my ring works, because they didn't destroy the power battery.
There's a huge...
It's here.
Yeah.
And it's just absorbing it. This is great.
Yeah.
The planet's power battery.
Exactly. Well, there is a
Oh,
power
thank
battery.
God.
One.
Yeah.
I was really concerned that eating people was giving me the power, and I was like, I gotta eat more people.
He's not jumped to that conclusion.
That was the conclusion I went to.
Whenever
There's more and more robots coming. They're attracted by all the action.
Yeah, exactly. Like moths to a flame.
Yeah.
And then Kilowog gets back up. And he's holding in his guts, and he's just like, oh, the ring works a hell of a lot better now that power battery's out. It's unfortunately Monkey Man.
Oh, Monkey Man.
Doesn't make it.
Why wasn't he? Why didn't he have a shield up?
I know. Well, Vecca got sloppy. He's old,
Yeah.
But he dies, and it's sad.
Yeah,
but before he dies,
damn it, I was right.
No, he just participated in the grand escape. But he
And
says,
I got killed for my trouble.
But he says,
damn you, Hal.
No, he does impart some dying wisdom to Jordan. He says, he goes,
grab that rascal. You don't want to have space babies. That shit's crazy.
Truly a wiser man has never existed in the Corps.
Does he have any abilities? What does he do?
He jump around and stuff. I mean, he's really...
No.
I mean,
how can he possibly fight Spider-Man?
If you look at his costume, he's fit. He's a jacked 65-year-old professor.
He's the jackal. I'm the jackal.
So, all right. So the jackal winds up breaking the tarantula out of jail to help him in his nefarious schemes.
Because he doesn't have any abilities.
No, because he's just an old guy in a silly goblin costume.
Why does the tarantula help him?
Because the tarantula is like a gun for hire. The tarantula is
I've never even heard of the tarantula.
That's because the tarantula sucks. The tarantula,
like Doc Ock?
Nope, he's a Spanish guy in a red suit with a big tarantula, and he has a like a bandana over his head.
Is he bigger than Spider-Man? Is he because tarantulas are big spiders?
Yeah, no, he's exactly the same physique.
Does he hang out in bunches of bananas?
No.
Surprise you once in a while?
Surprise you and scare the hell out of you? No. He also, unlike tarantulas, has really sharp pointed daggers at the ends of his feet, which he uses to stun his enemies. There's a panel in here where he stuns a guard after he escapes from prison, and he stabs him in the heart. And it just says, fuck.
So he's dead, right?
And he's like, I have stunned my foe and now I flee. How many people do you think you've been stunning? You're a mass murderer. You're wanted by several criminal organizations. You are a felon, sir. You have murdered hundreds of people. No, I stunned them, and they were so stunned.
I stunned them right in the heart.
No, I stunned them. They totally stopped and dropped to the ground and stopped breathing.
The wind left their lungs, and
it simulates death. It's that venom that makes people think.
Yeah, like a tarantula.
Yeah.
They're like, sir, first of all, tarantulas don't stun anyone. Second of all, they don't have venom, and third of all, you're killing people with your feet.
He just takes off his bandana. Oh, what have I been doing with my life?
There's a scene, there's so many asides in this book where it's like, what are you doing? There's a scene in this book where there's a couple in a Volkswagen Beetle, and they're stalled at a red light, and the jackal wears a bus driver's uniform to trick Spider-Man into getting on it.
Okay.
But once he gets on it, he takes off his hat, and he's the jackal. But he's been wearing the jackal costume. He just had a hat on. And he's like, surprise! And you're like, who fell for this?
Wait,
What is
he
happening?
had like the ears and everything?
Yeah. He just had the hat and the jacket on. Which shows you how much people pay attention to our public officials. So anyway, so the Volkswagen's sitting there, the bus is careening out of control, and there's this scene between the two couple where she's like, "Move the car, George," and he's like, "I can't, the car won't start." She's like, "Move the car, George," and then it hits the Volkswagen flips, spins, and then sits there, and they're both seatbelted in the Volkswagen upside down, and she says, "I told you to move the car, George." Like, how much real estate are we going to give these people? We're going to go home with them and meet their parents? Like, what is happening?
They gotta fill pages, man. They gotta fill pages.
Of these stupid, jokey characters.
Yep.
Anyway.
Really? You really can't wait for it, or you're like sarcastically?
It's gonna be cool.
Okay.
Because Dan Slott writes Spider-Man well. He knows the character, he loves the continuity, but he also knows that he can't, like, tell this story anymore.
Yeah.
He just tell a story I want to read. Or that I find good now that I'm 30.
Right.
But the Clone Saga in the 90s will actually explain all the backstory for you, and one day we won't get there. Hey everybody, welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Ben.
Today I thought we'd attempt to talk a little bit about the 1994 Spider-Man event, The Clone Saga.
Oh boy. It's been a long time coming.
I've been meaning to do this series forever, but there's never been a good way to cover it. But we also have the clone who had seemingly died in the explosion at Shea Stadium with the jackal and everything, and was thrown into a smokestack. Well, as he was being thrown into a smokestack, he woke up and then clung to the inside of the smokestack, crawled out, and then roamed the countryside. But when he's bitching about it, how much time do we say passed? It's too inconvenient and weird for him to say a long time ago, so we've got to establish time. So we say that 1975 was 5 years ago.
So it's 1980?
No, we're just saying that the amount of time between that story and now has been 5 years.
No, right?
And even though, like, readers, you're like, that was a really long time ago, everyone in the story treats 5 years ago like a really long time. Like, Ben Ross,
almost like it was
like 20 years. So he's like, I've been around for 5 years.
You understand?
It's like one whole experience in high school and 1 year of college. All that time I was driving on a motorcycle and having sex with other redheaded girls. Like, that's all Ben Reilly does.
It's half a decade. We haven't even gotten out of one era of music.
Yeah, and when he calls Aunt May, like, for the umpteenth time, he gets, like, Mary Jane. For the first time ever, Peter Parker doesn't answer the phone while he's there at one point and goes like, "Who the hell are you? And why do you sound exactly like me?"
Yeah.
At no point...
And Aunt May doesn't recognize his voice,
Nope.
even though she's been raising Peter Parker for years.
1994, phone technology was much less superior than the time than what we have now, Ben. I couldn't tell who you were if I got a call from you back then. I would need you to establish verbally who you were, and then I would instantly recognize your phone voice and ascribe it to your person.
Well,
this is all true. It's funny because, you know, they've been establishing Spider-Man kind of like losing his shit for a while, and so when they revealed the cover, it's this image of like Spider-Man versus Peter Parker.
Okay.
And like the epic battle you never thought you'd see. And as a, like, young but literate reader, I was like, oh my god, he's going to split personalities, and he's going to have like, a battle between...
like Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
Yeah, like, he's gonna fucking...
It's gonna be a fight in
There's
his mind.
no fight.
Right.
My thought was he was just gonna have a breakdown.
Yeah.
And, like, quipping Spider-Man or quipping Peter Parker.
Yeah, like the image of him fighting himself is just a metaphor.
Yes!
Right. Yeah.
But everyone else who was reading comics at the time said, holy shit, the clone's coming back. And I'm like, what a leap. What a leap in logic. There's no goddamn
There's no way.
I go, no, they've been sowing the seeds of Peter Parker's mental collapse for the last, like, year and a half of comic books.
Right.
There's no goddamn way the clone comes back. Sure enough, the clone comes back.
And you're like, God damn it.
And by the way, it was so terrible. Spider-Man, after his parents die, he's like, oh, I can't even be Peter Parker anymore. And he, like, webs a cocoon in the bedroom and, like, climbs into it and stays there for a day and a half. And Mary Jane, like, comes into the bedroom, she sees it, and she just leaves.
I am done.
And then when
I was willing to put up with anything,
Yeah.
but this is just too fucking weird.
You just gotta work. He's gotta work through some stuff. Right
Yeah,
now.
and
I'm
when
just
he
gonna go a different
emerges, he drops the man of Spider-Man and becomes the Spider. And this means nothing except for the fact that, like, his internal monologue is batshit fucking crazy. Where he's like, Peter Parker is dead. The Spider doesn't need a wife or love or anything, and I'll just beat the shit out of bad guys. And you're like, this needs to stop.
Turn Spider-Man into a chick.
He comes from this story, like they invented him.
God damn it.
And in interviews about the Clone Saga, like long after the fact, they openly admit, like, I don't know what we were doing with this character. We didn't have a backstory for him. We didn't have a plan. We just, like, needed to create some new characters. And
We threw him in.
And we threw him in, and here he is.
To be super powerful.
And, well, like, and it's funny because he ended up being so super powerful that, like...
He became so powerful.
He became so powerful, according to the editors, that there's no way that, like, cosmic characters wouldn't have known who he was. Like, he gets to the point where, like, he's a god, and they're like, why would a, like, Living Tribunal-esque character bother annoying Spider-Man? This, like, seemingly innocuous, you know, expert in a field of psychoanalysts. Like, when he reveals that he's also, like, a magic asshole, a week prior, he mailed a letter to the Ravencroft Institute that would, like, arrive on that day. And so, when Dr. Traveler and his merry band of idiots leave, Dr. Kafka, like, reads the mail, and it's from Dr. Judas Traveler, and it says, like, I'm sorry I won't be able to make it to the meeting that was scheduled for today, but I have to be in Europe or some shit. So she's like, oh, that man couldn't possibly have been Dr. Traveler.
Oh my god.
I'm like, what? And that was and the reason why I'm bringing up that very specific instance and not like when Ben Reilly fought Venom is because this was a representation of everything wrong with the Clone Saga. Like, why not, if you can do anything, just appear as someone else? Or erase their memories, which they established Dr. Traveler can do.
Right.
But instead, he, like, writes a letter by hand a week ago and, like, licks the glue and, like, puts the stamp on, like, puts it in the mail. He's like, Mwah! Like, all of this is all part of his stupid plan that doesn't even work.
Alright, so how far through the story are we now?
We are
Actually,
maybe 8 pages.
I have one cloak, and then I have a small inner cloak.
The Clone Saga has reached maximum stupid. And we've reached Amazing Spider-Man number 400, which is drawn by Bagley, written by DeMatteis, and it's about... They're hyping it up. They were like, one member of the Parker family is going to die.
Oh.
And you know we hate Mary Jane.
Right.
And you know there is another Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. And we've been...
No, there's not another Peter Parker. There is a clone that is Ben Reilly.
Yeah, but that's basically just Peter Parker.
Well, it depends. Who do you like?
So
yeah.
It could be one of them. It could be Aunt May. We could kill that bitch, Mary Jane.
Yep.
Like,
we could do anything.
Doesn't she suck? God, she's just holding Spider-Man back.
Yeah.
Let me guess. It's none of them. It's like Uncle...
No.
Like Bill or something.
It's not some other character. No, it's amazing, actually. They're like, Peter, you have to get to the hospital. It's unbelievable. Like, or no, they're establishing Aunt May died. And at the hospital. So Peter runs in, and he opens the door, and she's fine! She recovered, and she's awake, and she's totally healthy. You immediately go, oh shit, it's not Aunt May.
Right.
Who else is it?
Oh, who's
So then, Spider-Man, or Peter Parker brings Aunt May home, and, like, Mary Jane's like, May, I can't believe it's you! And by the way, very early in the Clone Saga, we established that Mary Jane, after Peter drops the spider thing, eventually he just goes, all right, that's enough.
I apologize.
I was a total dick. I did not eat a Snickers. You know how crazy you get when you're hungry.
Yeah, you put yourself in a cocoon for a day and a half.
Yeah, and then become an asshole for like a year. But he and Mary Jane have sex, and then she gets pregnant.
Oh.
And so we're establishing now, we're basically doing a trade-off. We're like, okay, so Aunt May was going to die, and then she's in a coma. But now she got out of the coma, but now Mary Jane is pregnant. So now that's the thing to worry about.
Oh, it's the baby.
Yeah, so now Mary Jane's pregnant, and Peter Parker is like, yay, like, this is great. Like, just when shit was going bad, like, I'm gonna be a dad, and that's kind of awesome.
You don't understand, though. You thought it was Peter Parker who had sex there, but it was actually Ben
Yeah,
Reilly,
no.
so it's the clones,
And by the
baby!
way, like, there's no, like, weird moment where, like, the clone is like, Mary Jane's hot, I should just fucking sneak in and have sex with her. Like, they, even in Face Off, they do that shit, but, like, in fucking Spider-Man, they're like, that is irresponsible and weird. Like, that's gross and stupid, we're not gonna do that.
How dare we do that? Let's just fuck up everything else.
Yeah, let's just ruin everything. So, Mary Jane gets pregnant, so like when Aunt May comes home and Mary Jane's like, May, I can't believe it's you. She doesn't show, by the way, but Aunt May, like, because she's like an old woman.
She's old, dead female.
She's like, oh, you're pregnant.
I can tell.
Yeah, you have a glow. And so the Parker family's back together, and you're like, holy shit, this is amazing. And then Pete takes Aunt May on like a walk through the city, and they go to like the Empire State Building, and like they're looking out like at the city, and Aunt May says something like, you know, like, how does it feel to swing across the city like that and feel so free? And Peter's like, what do you mean? And Aunt May's like, I have always known you're Spider-Man.
Oh.
And you're like, holy fuck, what? And she says, like, you know,
I do your laundry!
Uncle Ben, like, when he was killed, I couldn't bear to lose anyone else in my family. And so it's why it's why I could never bear to even hear the word Spider-Man in my house. Like, it's them retconning that Aunt May never knew, and why she also, like, hated Spider-Man.
Right.
And it's actually because she's just, like, she was almost, like, passive-aggressively trying to get him to stop being Spider-Man.
Okay.
But
Sure.
when she comes out of the coma, she's like, this is who you are. And it's funny because there's never a chat where he's like, I became Spider-Man because I let Uncle Ben die. Like, this is the whole thing.
Right.
No conversation. She's like, I know you're Spider-Man. I forgive you for lying to me. I get why you did it. Like, because you didn't want me to fucking have a heart attack and die. Even though, obviously,
because that will happen.
Stroke.
Yep. So, you know what? Like, forget it. It's cool. And now, like, I'm kind of tired because you've had me walking across New York for, like, a fucking 4 hours. So, like, I gotta go home. Then she goes home, and then she fucking dies.
What? What the fuck?
She goes home, she's weak, and she's like, this is it. Like, because she's old and she knows. And
that's amazing.
She goes home, she gets in bed, and she's like, this is it. Like, you don't need me here anymore. Like, I woke up more or less to, like, say goodbye and to, like, know that the family was going to continue.
Uh-huh. And now I can die.
And now I can die. And so she fucking dies. And you're like, this is really fucking sad.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing issue, and it's really, really good. But
it was all a dream.
No. But, well, it's ruined. But, like, remember how I said, like, there's, you know, that's a story. But, like, there's all this clone shit. Like, because the clone is there, but he's conveniently not really in the issue.
Uh-huh.
Like, he doesn't show up and go like, ah, man, there's two of us, her. Like, there's no moment like that.
Right.
But they keep showing, because Ben Reilly, eventually he can't, like, stop being, like, a hero, so he winds up, like, making his own Spider-Man costume, and he becomes the Scarlet Spider, which is, he looks like an asshole. You know, he's
with my torn sweatshirt,
with my torn hoodie, and my ankle pouches and everything. So, so you see Scarlet Spider, like, outside the house, like, listening to to her, like, say goodbye to the family, and he's like, oh, like, I'm sad too, and you're like...
He gives her a call real quick.
Yeah, it's me! The guy who's been calling you for 5 years, I'm sorry you're dying. So, like, you're having this moment where you're, like, watching Peter Parker, like, lose his aunt, and then, like, this fucking clone shows up, and he's like, I'm sad too! Aren't you sad? And, like, I have to watch my aunt, like, die, all, like a stranger! Yeah. And you're like, get the fuck out of here! And that's how I felt, like, the whole Clone Saga. I'm like, there's this shit going on, get the fuck out of here! So, like,
I'm just trying to read a story!
I'm trying to read the Saga!
Ben Reilly.
Get out of here, Ben Reilly! Nobody wants you here! Get out of here!
Get out of here!
Pot and pan. Bang, get out of here!
So, like, Aunt May fucking dies, and you're like, that was amazing. And then, like, the fucking cops show up at the wake, and they're like, hey, Peter Parker, you're under arrest for murder! And, like, he gets taken away!
Fuck?
And then the clone shows up, and he's like, Mary Jane, it's time we met face to face! And you're like, this needs to stop.
This has become a soap opera.
This has gone far beyond soap operas. Like, so, and of course, Mary Jane's like, slap, like, maybe it was you! Like, and you're like,
what the fuck?
this needs to stop!
Who murdered who? What is...
Well, Peter Parker is getting more and more, like, unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Jackal shows up, and by the way, like, the Jackal, aka Miles Warren, like, yeah, he didn't die in that explosion.
Even though he did.
Even though he fucking did.
Nobody died in that explosion.
Nobody died in that explosion. No, that Jackal, Miles Warren character actually survived and then put himself into like a genetic manipulation pod and then merged with actual Jackal DNA and became like a legitimate Jackal monster man. And by the way, not like a real Jackal, like that stupid green thing that he was dressed like.
Right.
So instead of it being a mask, it's really his face.
Wait,
That's not actually a Jackal!
He just looks the same
Well, he looks
as he looked before.
Well, he looks more like the Joker and the Green Goblin at the same time.
Sir, I don't think you know what a Jackal is.
What is this?
What
is happening here?
Because Ben Reilly Spider-Man is like young and hip, there's also this young and hip team called the New Warriors. Let's get Spider-Man on the New Warriors!
This is the New Warriors?
Yeah, the ones who kill all those kids in Stanford,
I
Connecticut.
thought...
Speedball looked familiar.
Speedball looked familiar. I'm like, that's not Speedball, is it?
No, it's Speedball, all right.
Oh,
yeah. And,
What with all those little dots?
Yeah.
And there's a fucking Stimpy phone or something here.
Yeah, they're because they're young.
We're making all these references.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Look at all this cool stuff that you kids like
Stimpy's
nowadays.
timeless, too. No one's gonna forget about
No one's gonna forget Stimpy outside the context of Ren and Stimpy. And then, Green Goblin, is grappling with Spider-Man, and he, like, sends his Goblin Glider to, like, do that loop back to kill him, to impale him.
Right.
Like he did the first time.
Yeah.
But Ben jumps in the way.
Oh.
And gets impaled by the Goblin Glider. And then the Goblin Glider pushes Ben off the building. And then, so Ben is stabbed through the chest. He's dead.
Right.
But then he falls off a building, right? Then he lands on a car. And then he dies. And then,
in a car.
And as that moment happens, Spider-Man grabs all the pumpkin bombs and throws them at Norman.
Oh.
He's like, no. Like, basically, Peter Parker's like, I'm gonna break my no-kill rule.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking kill
because
you.
you're supposed to be dead anyway. Like,
I'm just getting back to the status quo.
Yeah, I'm just returning us back to where we were before.
So, and by the way, when Spider-Man goes to grab Ben Reilly, he grabs him, and Ben Reilly's like, I'm dying. And he brings him up to the top of the roof, and Ben's like, tell your daughter about her Uncle Ben, and then he melts.
Oh! That's what clones do.
Because that's how clones die. And you're like, oh.
So his time ran out right then?
No. It's just like when
he dies,
when his system shuts down, he melts.
Yeah, the other clones were on a timer.
And as he melts, Spider-Man's like, holy shit, like...
Oh, he was the clone.
He was the clone, I'm real!
Yay!
And then,
why did my powers leave?
Yeah.
I don't know!
Shut up! So then, it looks like the Jackal has won... Because the Jackal's dealing with Spider-Man, but like all of his cronies, like they took the Gwen clone, they kidnapped Anna Maria Marconi at the behest of Dr. Octopus because he's in love with her.
Right.
And so they finally see each other, and like they bring her out, and she's like, "Hi," and Doc's like, "Oh, humana, I didn't expect you to see me. I had big plans, and it wasn't involving being really fat and old, and I'm sorry. Like, I love you." And she's like, "You're a creep.
Yeah.
You seduced me in a hot Spider-Man body." And you were lying about who you are. I'm not going to be like your mad scientist girlfriend.
That's
not
what this is.
But I got you a tiny lab coat.
Yeah, and also when he was Superior Spider-Man and trapped in the year 2099, he invented like a holographic technology character, like an AI, like Spider-Man 2099 has for Lyla.
That looks like her.
That looks like her, and she like reacts like her. So she's like, "That's gross."
Yep.
You're weird.
It's not that gross. I don't tell it to take its clothes off all the time.
That sounds like you do that.
I said not all the time. Look, I use one of my tentacles, so it's like I'm not doing it at all. Like it's like I have phantom limb
Oh god, that's awful.
Why can't we ever do a Spider-Man book without referring to some kind of horrible sexual deviancy? Today I wanted to talk a little bit about Batman Earth 1, Volume 1, written by Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns!
Jeff Johns! I love Jeff Johns.
Yeah?
I don't know anything he's done.
Yes,
but
you do.
I love his day.
But as such, Alfred is awesome. He shows up at the Waynes and he's like, a lot of money. Like, he is totally, like, real. You know what I mean? And
Right.
he shows up at the Wayne's house and he's like, the door's open. Like, what are you doing? You know? Like, he's already giving them a hard time about...
It's like, you don't know who I am? It's like, clearly I know who you are.
No, well, they're friends. They fought in the war together. The war in
No, I
the
know. It's
desert.
like, just like, you didn't know who I was?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you said you were coming.
Yeah, you said you were coming. I knew you were going to be here in like half an hour. I just left the door unlocked for you. But anyone could have gone through that door.
So could have killed you and Martha, and then what would have Bruce done aside from turn into a crazy vigilante?
Exactly.
What am I saying? That's stupid.
So yeah, what a high flying idea. But then the social worker's like, where are you going? You're the beneficiary of Bruce Wayne. Like, Thomas changed his will like a week ago, and you're his parent now. And he's like, oh no.
He's like, no.
Oh no. Oh, I am not a parent. I am a psychopath. Like, I am a murdering war veteran. Like, there's no way. And she's like,
I would love it if he said that to her, like, no.
oh, he does. He goes, no.
I'm a psychopath?
I mean, no, he just goes like, no, I can't.
No, but if he was just like, I'm a psychopath.
I'm a psycho. No, it, like,
she'd be like, oh, well, never mind.
yeah, she's from Gotham. She'd be like, well, they kind of all are, so good luck. Maybe you could go to the movies and fucking make the problem go away.
Oh, don't worry, you're not a psychopath. You're rich now.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're eccentric. But no, he's just a douche who's tatted up, and he's threatening some chick. And, Gordon's driving the squad car, and Bullock's like, oh, somebody's getting shaken down, like, let's go. And Gordon's like, no, that's not how we do things in Gotham. And Bullock's like, what are you, crazy? Like, that's a crime. And so he, like, jumps out of the car, like, while it's moving, and then, like, goes and kicks the shit out of the punk, and the girl, like, is really ungrateful, and, like...
She's like, he wasn't going to do anything that bad to me.
Right, she's like, what are you doing? And Gordon...
And she's a hooker.
Yeah.
And then she stabs him.
No, it's... Nice try. But no, he's just a douche who's tatted up, and he's threatening some chick. And... Gordon's driving the squad car, and Bullock's like, oh, somebody's getting shaken down, like, let's go. And Gordon's like, no, that's not how we do things in Gotham. And Bullock's like, what are you, crazy? Like, that's a crime. And so he, like, jumps out of the car, like, while it's moving, and then, like, goes and kicks the shit out of the punk, and the girl, like, is really ungrateful, and, like...
She's like, he wasn't going to do anything that bad to me.
Right, she's like, what are you doing? And Gordon...
And she's a hooker.
Yeah.
And then she stabs him.
No, it's... Nice try. And by the way, it's kind of nebulous as to whether or not his wife was murdered by the mob. Like, she I think she got into a car accident or the car exploded. I don't remember which part of it. But, like, it involves a car, and it's...
If it explodes, they're just like, clearly it was the mob, and GM is just like...
Yeah!
Oh, yeah, it was the mob!
Yeah.
Shit, that ignition switch.
Yeah, exactly.
It was that extreme airbag, the taco whatever.
Yeah.
Bam!
The mob! So, Toyo's like, yes, and we'll fight to the bitter end to help you get reparations from the mob. So,
and not us.
Yes.
Wasn't us.
Wasn't our fault. So, there's the opening scene is actually Batman, and, like, they set the stage for the opening of this book where he's, like, cast in shadow, and it's awesome looking. And he's on the rooftops, and he's chasing this dirty cop, and you find out he's a dirty cop later. But, like, he's chasing him down, and there's that moment where he goes, like, rah! Like, he's jumping across the roof, but he misses.
Because he sucks.
He just falls, and, like, grabs onto an air conditioner, and, like, breaks, like, he just hits every branch on the way down from the fucking tree.
He's Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah. And then he just lands in garbage, and there's just this moment of Batman going, like, ow!
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But by the way, there's a moment where when they're still trying to set up that Batman's awesome and cool, he's chasing down the guy gets, like, too far away, so he breaks out the grappling gun, and he's like, and then he fires it, and he goes, pa-chang! Like, it just doesn't work, because he bought it off, like, eBay. And the image is hilarious, because he just goes, like...
All right, this is the only good reason
when
you
you
can
need
see
the
his
eyes.
Yeah.
That guy he was chasing has this lighter, and the lighter says "Number 1 Dad" on it, and it's actually a lighter that, like, Bruce and his mom picked out for his dad.
And what you're telling me is there's no other number 1 dad
Cigarette lighter. No.
Well,
he's the number 1 dad.
As it turns out, the mugger is Ultron 8.
Oh my god.
Oh, well, okay, there you go.
Best father ever.
Because you can't just get those things.
No, you can't just have those engraved.
Those are bestowed
Yeah.
upon truly
like a
the number
committee
one.
of fathers who are like, no, your father truly is
you
number 1
can't
dad. You may have the lighter.
You can't just go and get a shirt that says number 1 dad
Or
on
a
it.
mug.
No.
Yeah,
Eventually...
get like a bulletproof vest that's molded to have muscles in it.
Yeah, like they do in the movie.
And
Yeah,
nipples.
exactly.
Yeah, and nipples.
And nipples.
But only on the outside. So...
I mean, you want them to know that, like, yeah, I'm tough and I'm protected, but also, like, it's a little bit chilly out here.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, but
You
also,
should know.
I'm enjoying this.
Right. Ooh, I'm Batman. So,
What are you, Mel Gibson?
yeah. So, all the cops show up, including, like, Gordon and Bullock, and they're like, what the hell is that? Like, what is this guy's
Who is this fruitcake?
What the hell? Yeah, he's like, uh-oh. So he just runs and then, like, jumps off the building and then, like, fires his bat grapple. And it works.
Yay!
And they shoot him, like, they shoot at him, and, like, his cowl actually has, like, a thing. So it goes, ba-tew! Like, he goes, whoo! Like, good thing I armored the good call out for it. He's giving cred to everyone who helped him out. Like, and thank you, Mom, for the good genes. Like, you know.
She put a note in my lunch that said, I believe in you, honey.
Yeah, no, I believe in myself now.
Also, jump off a roof in case you get shot at by cops.
Yeah. So, but then it goes taut, and he, like, swings back, and he goes through the window into the cocktail party. And, like, the image that they use for the front cover is him just awkwardly crashing through the window into the cocktail party.
Hey!
Batman is a one-man fail army, where he's just crashing through windows and falling off buildings.
Right, but I guess no one else knows, like, oh, I guess that was part of his plan.
Yeah, they're like, wow, Batman's, like, striking fear, except he looks like an idiot in a bat costume falling through a window. That's the great part of Gary Frank's art, is that it like, looks like a jackass in a bat costume. It ruins comics in a way, because you're like, there's no mystique. You're like, that douche in a bat costume is gonna fucking die. So Batman goes into the, you know, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kick ass, and, you know, and then he runs away and he escapes. By the way, when he starts to escape, one of it, like, just a moment that happens, it's cool, like, the first thing he does, when he sees, like, all the cops, and it's Gordon and Batman meeting for the first time, Gordon's like, what the hell is that? Batman then punches him in the nose.
He just punches Jim Gordon.
At first, he's like, who's the oldest, frailest looking man here? That guy. Bang! You're like, Batman, like, it's just hilarious because it's just Batman making all the wrong choices. Just Batman picks one guy to punch in this whole group, and it's fucking Gordon.
Well, not only that, but just like, hey, man, I'm gonna look super tough. And they're like, you hit an old guy.
Yeah, you hit that
What an asshole.
Yeah, what a dickhead.
I'm imagining Alfred later on, like, looking at the news, being like, let me get this straight.
The only guy who punched
Was
that old guy.
Was a senior citizen.
It was a senior citizen.
who can't get any higher, and his wife's dead.
Yeah.
And you punched him.
And Batman's like, yeah, but like...
And you broke his head. Yeah, but he was in the way. It struck fear into the hearts of those cops.
It sent a message. Yeah, you're a douche.
So Bullock goes, like, I fucked up. I'm sorry. Let's fix this. And Gordon's like, how are we gonna fix it? So, like, Gordon and Bullock go find Axe, that douchebag, and Axe's like, sorry, man, that's the nature of the deal. And then, like, Bullock hits Axe with a baseball bat. And then, like, he goes,
Bring
like,
it back around.
yeah. And then Gordon, he's like, Gordon, come here. And he goes, what is this, good cop, bad cop? And then Harvey Bullock splashes into the biggest, showiest smile. And he goes, what are you kidding, man? I know what it takes to run Gotham City now. And then there's this full-page splash of him holding a bat and Gordon holding a crowbar, going, it's bad cop in Gotham City.
What?
So I guess they beat him and torture him and throw him in the trunk of Bullock's car, and then they find out that...
What the crap?
Yeah, I know, it's great. So
Great, that's dark as crap.
oh, I know.
It's amazing, though.
Yeah.
Alright, so Batman knows who the birthday boy belongs to.
Yes, it belongs to the mayor. So he goes to the mayor's office and just starts knocking the crap out of him. Because he's like, you are responsible for my parent, or for Bruce Wayne, Bruce Wayne's parents' deaths. No, he actually says, like, you kill Thomas and Martha Wayne. And Mayor Cobblepot says,
What?
No!
Wait, did you know it's Cobblepot the whole time?
you know it's Cobblepot the whole time, it's Penguin.
Ah, you didn't tell us. Ah.
That's what that picture, that image was.
Yeah, it was Penguin eating, and it was gross. He looked like Denethor eating tomatoes.
Yeah.
So Cobblepot is the mayor, so you know he's a bad guy, but he's also gross. He has the Penguin theme is that he likes wearing tuxedos, and he eats gross, and he has a big weird nose.
He likes birds.
And he has umbrellas that are knives. Today we're talking about Batman Earth 1 Volume 2, written by Jeff Johns, art by Gary Frank. We did, at the end of the book, when we find out that, the mayor of Gotham is actually the Penguin.
Yeah.
And then Alfred blows him away with a shotgun.
Yeah, he does that.
Yeah. This is the fallout from that. So now everyone just assumes that Batman murdered the Penguin with a shotgun. And...
I would never use a gun.
Yeah, and Batman
Bruh.
is working really hard to try and, like, ditch that reputation.
Do they assume it's a bat-themed shotgun?
They don't make any reference to it besides the fact that Batman's a scary motherfucker.
It fired tiny bats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little bat shrapnel.
Right.
It's actual bats, and they have little tiny shotguns.
I like this gun.
Yeah, he makes Lucius like the head of R&D for Wayne Tech or whatever, and Wayne and Lucius gets his own like crack team of developers and engineers and stuff to make Batman stuff for him.
Wow!
But under the guise of like Bruce Wayne is an aficionado of random stuff, so
including Batman paraphernalia.
Right, well, like Batman stuff, like grappling hooks and flight cloaks and stuff.
And I really thought you were going to say that like Edward Nygma was on this team.
No, Edward Nygma was like, not on this team. That would be cool.
And then he gets disgruntled and, you know, pushes his boss out of a window.
Or he figures it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, he's like, wait, you want him to do what? So he's Batman.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to figure out.
Yeah. Gordon goes into the bar, he goes to retrieve Bullock, and he's like, you gotta get out of here, man. You gotta pull yourself out of this hole you dug for yourself. And Bullock is like, look, what do you care about how I spend my nights? And Gordon's like, nights! It's 10:30 in the morning!
Oh, that's fantastic.
Maybe it was night when he got there.
Yeah. So Jessica goes to Bruce,
the
new mayor of Gotham. She's like, listen, like, you are kind of like the son of Gotham. And you could be a really great instrument of hope. Like, you could be a great thing to believe in for the people of Gotham. And Bruce's like, what about
we could be like a power couple.
Right, plus we could like totally get together and then who could stop us? And Batman's like Bruce is like, well, what about Batman? Is a Batman a great symbol? And she's like, no. What? Batman
he's terrible, he's a vigilante.
He's just a crazy asshole. He punches people.
He shot Mayor Cobblepot with a shotgun.
Yeah. As mayor, I am a little concerned with Batman's mayoral policies. So no, he is not great. Anyway, so Gordon is investigating the elevator death. And Batman shows up. And Batman's like, this is fucked up right here.
I don't know if you've seen this shit. It's weird.
This is fucked up.
This is more fucked up than...
Well, then the baby... Nothing is nearly as fucked up as the birthday boy.
Right?
Thank God.
So far...
Yeah, but why would they be like...
Don't worry. Nothing in this book gets more creepy or uncomfortable. I think that after Volume 1, Johnson's like, let's step back a little.
I went to a dark place.
Yes. And you know what's... And amazingly enough, nobody was lazy enough to start Volume 1 with Joker, or even allude to Joker in this. No Joker. No reference to Joker, no... So, maybe he's saving his birthday boy stuff for Volume 3 with the Joker.
Okay.
Who knows? I don't know what Volume 3 is supposed to be, but I'm sure eventually they'll do the Joker, and I'm sure Joker will be creepier than the birthday boy. But in the meantime, let's have this fun adventure with Batman that does not involve child murder. So, Batman's at the crime scene, but in this one, you know, because Batman's just Bruce Wayne, who's trained by his, like, asshole Green Beret butler, and that's kind of it.
He's not a detective?
He's not a detective! So he's like, so, Gordon, what we should do... He goes, what do you do? Don't step there! That's a crime scene! And he's like, well, it looks like... He goes, your leather gloves are messing up the fingerprints! You're not really much of a detective, are you? And Batman's like...
I never said I was.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I mean, anyway... So, he's like, well, I might not be a detective, but you know what else? They turn on this black light, and on the door of the elevator is a question mark.
Oh.
And they're like, oh, shit. And Gordon's like...
This is gross. Someone came in a very weird, disgusting pattern.
Yeah, that's the way... He's like Kurt Russell in Death Proof. He can only get off in the murder of, like, 1%ers. So, like, what he did was he blew up the elevator, and then he went in front of it, and then he was just like, yeah!
Alright! Whoa!
And he went, what a coincidence! I shall become the Riddler! Or the Diddler. So,
or the Jizzler.
Can I leave now?
No, you gotta stay! The book isn't over. Like, right now, all you've told me is a vague idea. You don't even have a list of names. Like, I have nothing. So, you know, we'll think about it. And then he turns around, and he's gone. But then he turns around the other way, and he's over there. And Batman goes, I'm over here.
He literally says that?
Yeah. And then Gordon's like, oh. And he goes, I'll call you if I have any new information. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, all right, I'll see you later. And then he leaves. So he goes into the sewer and naturally gets attacked by Killer Croc.
Right.
He's like, fuck, I wish I had that body armor.
Yes. And he's like, oh my god, I can't believe that there's a Killer Croc in the sewers.
He's like, but thank god he's wearing pants.
Yeah.
Does he scream like Ned Flanders?
He does not. They fight for a little... I know, it really is. He's like, That's the scariest thing I've ever seen. That's a legitimately horrified face. That's like out of all the things I expected to run into in the sewers, a crocodile man was the last on the list.
I will say, like, the birthday boy is terrifying. He's a terrible thing.
Yeah,
you are fucking scary.
That is scary. Yeah, no, a big dude in a fucking burlap sack who murders children, that's a horror show, psychologically and physically. But you run into a literal monster in the sewers, and he's leaping out of sewage with teeth blared to bite you. That is a pants-crapping moment. But then Batman says, this is what I think happened. And he basically says what I said. And, I said what you said, basically. So, Gordon's like, wow, shit, like, maybe you're actually shaping up to be a pretty good detective after all.
Aw.
And then he says, like, if I come up with anything else, or if you find anything, you should call me. And he's like, how? And he hands him a little cell phone. And he's like, it's a bat signal. And he flies away. And then Gordon looks at it and he says, Jesus Christ, he put a little bat on it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh my god, he did. That's totally a Nokia.
Yeah.
Maybe a Razor, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Christ.
It's literally a cell phone with one button, by the way. Just boop, and it'll get Batman. So then they fight.
Right.
And they fight in a way that I love because the art doesn't demonstrate it nearly as well as the words. Because in the art, it just looks like they're fighting. But in the words, it describes the fight. And it says that they're both fighting so fiercely because Iron Man is doing everything he can to stay alive, and Doom is doing everything he can to kill Iron Man. And I love that description because it's just like, it really adds a level of fierceness to the fight. But the fight goes on so long and so chaotically, they don't even realize they've been fighting and led to the time platform, where Hauptmann then goes, later chumps, and then activates the time portal and then sends them both through time, and then smashes all the controls, and he's like, victory! Doom has like an intertemporal relationship with Morgana Le Fay, where he like bangs her in exchange for magic secrets.
Oh.
And it's like, what?
Because he's so alluring that she's like, I need Doom. I'll give you all kinds of secrets.
Right. It's weird.
I need that D.
Does he send a Doombot sometimes? He's just
I don't
not
think
feeling
so.
it?
I don't have time.
No, he sends the Doombots to fight Fantastic Four and stuff. I'm banging Morgan Le Fay. So,
by the way, does he keep the suit on?
Yeah, how does that work?
There's no question he keeps that suit on.
He's got a little
flap.
Ding.
Yeah.
Just comes out.
Listen, in the Excalibur film with Nicole Williamson and Patrick Stewart and everybody, Luthor bangs the woman who will eventually give birth to Arthur, and he bangs her in his armor suit, and he has a flap.
I like that Doom is working with Iron Man, and Iron Man is a technological genius, and Doom at no point thinks,
is this Tony Stark? Nope.
How is
no
he
point.
this good with tech?
Yeah. No.
He probably just assumes that Tony Stark is a hack.
Right.
Right?
It's
he
all
just steals stuff from
it's
his
all
underlings.
Iron Man. Yeah. He doesn't make that point, unfortunately.
He says, like, if Stark's underlings are this clever, he himself must be a genius.
That's a leap there, Vic.
Yeah.
There's only one time the Avengers show up. It's at the end when they beat Carnage. And they go, okay, well, I guess we'll all wrap things up here. We'll put him on the Quinjet and take him into custody. Thanks a lot, crackerjack job. It's probably what formed my, like, real resentment of the Avengers until much later. So, Iron Fist shows up.
Okay.
Well before his popularity in Immortal Iron Fist. He shows up to rescue Deathlock, and then they team up with Spider-Man. Okay. There's a cool moment where the riots are out of control.
Okay.
And Iron Fist uses his like chi to like tap into the collective consciousness of everybody, and just chills them all out for a second, and it like breaks Shriek's grip on them.
Oh.
But like one of them's an asshole and like throws something at him and breaks the concentration, and then everyone freaks out. And Spider-Man's like, "Wow! Like you stopped that riot without throwing a single punch. If you could teach that to all of us, then we have a hope." Mm-hmm. And Iron Fist is like, it's not really a trick, but I could teach it to you. It would only take about 8 or 10 years.
And Spider-Man's like,
Spider-Man just starts punching a chimney. And he's just like, he's just so fucking miserable.
I'm loving this book.
Yeah. And then Spawn shows up.
What? Spawn shows up?
I'm sorry, his name's Nightwatch.
Oh,
Nightwatch shows up. My bad. I got it confused because he
looks exactly like Spawn.
Because he came out 2 years after Spawn, and he's exactly like Spawn.
This is so... Oh my god, this is so ironic, this ending. Black Cat's like... Even though he's in Avengers custody, I don't know if I feel safe. Like, monsters like that always have a way of returning. And then Spider-Man says... Spider-Man says, you need to have a little faith, pretty lady. Believe it or not, some monsters stay dead and buried forever, and their ghosts can't haunt you unless you allow them. And it shows him walking away from the graves of Norman Osborn and Harry Osborn.
Who would
eventually do exactly that and come back and haunt him.
Yes. So, Michelani's like, I know. I'll make, like, an anti-Venom. Not to be confused with Dan Slott created anti-Venom, who we'll do someday in the future.
And is anti-Venom white?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's not actually a symbiote.
Oh.
Yeah.
It could also be if the Venom symbiote took over Aunt May.
Yes, then it's anti-Venom. Yes. Thank you. Good contribution. God damn it.
He's like, I don't know, some guy named Chip.
Because when they colored Spider-Man in his black suit, they used blue highlights. And I'm like, no, it should be static black.
That's adorable.
Yeah, this is an old copy.
I have to fix this.
Yeah, no. But then when I did, it's this awful looking matte, and I'm like, oh, I ruined it.
You ruined it.
So anyway,
no, now he looks like he's real. Like there are dynamic shadows.
Yeah,
in
now
him.
he's three-dimensional.
Thank you.
Wait, you're gonna gloss over the sweet sign that Carnage leaves?
Oh yeah, he writes Carnage rules on the wall before he leaves.
Really?
Yeah, using his own blood.
Because he rules, you see. So,
well, because okay.
Much like O'Doyle.
Well,
there are a couple of things. There are a couple of tidbits of information about Carnage you need to know.
That he
One,
rules.
He rules.
Two, Spider-Man drools. I didn't have enough blood to make the rest of the sign, but you get the idea.
You got the idea. I would have passed out. You would have defeated me.
So, the Carnage rules thing, clearly he wrote that because he was just like, I'll introduce myself. But then, what if he doesn't remember my name?
Yeah.
Or the fact that I'm awesome.
Yeah. So I need a two-word sentence that conveys all those ideas.
Got it.
Bingo. Huh.
Go.
He also writes incredibly legibly.
He really does, and he gets the exclamation point in there. He really doesn't need it.
He needs you to know emphatically that I rule.
Right?
What if it's like a period? No.
No.
While it is a fact.
No, those are Carnage rules. Like,
what if they think it's like? What if they think I screwed up a colon?
Right.
And that I was going to write other rules.
Right?
No. Carnage rules.
How does he? Oh. Sand.
Yeah. Venom uses his symbiote to shoot a lot of sand at Johnny and snuff out the flames. Then the suit grabs Johnny and then shoves him underwater, where he, can't breathe or flame on.
Why does he need to say?
He doesn't need to say flame on. He just does.
Wait, are you telling me that if Johnny Storm was the Human Torch on fire and flew into the ocean, he would not just burn the water around him into steam?
First, he was snuffed out using sand. Then he was put underwater.
Well, why doesn't he just turn it back on?
He can't, because he's
Why?
underwater.
I'm sorry. Just because he's in the air means he can turn his fires on. Why?
He's underwater! Are you kidding me?
He doesn't actually...
He needs oxygen to burn!
There's oxygen in water!
Can you light a match underwater?
Yes!
Yeah, certain ones.
Well, not this one. So
he's a menace.
Venom's freaking out because the teenagers won't tell Venom which way he went because they don't really know because they were too busy watching their friend be murdered.
Right.
And so Spider-Man's like, whoa! That poster next to that poor dead girl. It's for a metal concert that's happening right now at Madison Square Garden. Maybe he saw that poster and he went to it to get the audience he's looking for.
Wait a minute! There's a wrapper for a Gentino's Italian Subway sandwich over there! Maybe he went to go to a delicious Italian hoagie!
Exactly. I hope you're not wrong. And it's like, pray I'm not. So anyway, they go to...
Oh, I am so wrong, but these sandwiches are delicious!
Yeah. We're going to do the Sinestro Core War today. Which is written by Jeff Johns.
Hey!
Core.
It's the Green Lantern Core.
Yeah. And
But
the Sinestro
everyone,
Corps.
but everyone calls them the Green Lanterns.
Yes.
So if it's the Sinestro Corps, it should
should
just be
call
the Sinestros.
I agree. But then Sinestro wouldn't cotton to that because he'd be like, no, there's only one Sinestro.
Also, that sounds like they're a baseball team.
Right. It'd be like if the Nazis were called the Hitlers. Like, no, I'm Hitler. It's just me.
That's gonna get looped. Yeah.
But what if I use the ring to, like, grab a physical object and then throw it at somebody really hard to kill them?
Well, the ring will know that you're about to kill them, and it will stop you from throwing
What
it.
if I don't know how hard I'm throwing it, and it's, I kill them by
Can you kill
accident?
someone accidentally? I would assume
That's
yes.
a good question. I don't know. I feel like you can.
Yeah.
But the ring should also have countermeasures for that. Like
The fuck is that?
it's a Green Lantern.
They're aliens, man. They
There's
look like
lots of
everything.
aliens.
That's Manatee Chin.
That one is really shitty looking, though.
They're all really weird. It's just to show you the spectrum of aliens
Yeah.
across the board.
Man, a lot of aliens suck.
Well, yeah, they may think
Hey,
we look
he
like
has
crap.
a great personality.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that Green Lantern is married and has 4 children. You know how, like, the Owens, or the Guardians, they represent, the surveyors and protectors of the Green Lantern Corps. So, too, there must be some kind of a Guardian or Guardian League that safeguards and powers and protects the Sinestro Corps. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Sinestro's clearly
You
just
don't have
like
to make everything the exact same.
Sinestro's because he
No,
was
I
the
need
Green
them.
Lantern. Remember, he was the Green Lantern,
Right.
and he was the best of them until Hal Jordan showed up and spoiled everything. So, like, for him, he's like, okay, so I'm gonna make my own corps with blackjack and hookers, and it's gonna be exactly like the old corps I got kicked out of, only it'll be better because I'm in charge of it, and it'll look exactly like the one that kicked me out. And don't you just love me yet? And it's
Including
like,
other
okay.
Guardians.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's only just one, but you really only need one. So, with the Guardian that he chooses,
A disgraced Guardian.
this is true.
What the hell was all that?
What,
That's
this?
hilarious.
Oh, you like this homage
Yeah.
to the concept that was brought up in Emerald Twilight?
Except it should really be Kyle.
Yes. But this actually happens though.
What?
Because Hal was too busy fighting Parallax before he got a chance to charge up his battery or his ring from the battery, he didn't get a chance to actually like recharge, so he's down to like nothing. He's running on fumes.
Okay.
He's like, I don't even. They're like, we gotta go back to Owen, or we gotta go to Mogo, or wherever. We're all screwed. Somebody is hitting us real bad, and on every front.
No one brings a power battery with them?
Nah.
Nah.
That is real dumb.
Yeah.
You are so dumb.
For real. So they're like, okay, well, what are we gonna do? I can't even like go into space right now. He's like, but because I was Parallax, and I do know about fear, I'm going to use, because they're in the weapons manufacturing plant of Quard, who made the rings and the power batteries for those rings. Like, I'm going to use their rings against them. So he puts on all the rings from the Sinestro Corps that he could get, and then charges them all up from the nearby yellow powder battery.
And everyone suddenly goes, whoa, no, not again.
Nope.
Last time
Nope.
this happened,
No one
it
is like
ruined everything.
suspicious or finds this curious. They're all like, trust in you, Hal Jordan. You are the greatest among us. Yes, if this is a good idea, then let it be so.
You may do no wrong.
Yeah. And
Should we follow suit and also grab yellow rings?
No, just me. Trust me. I grabbed them all.
Oh, there's none left.
Also, the other
You
guys
would
have got the
totally.
rings.
I would totally give you some, but I need all of these.
I need all 10 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, look, there's one on the floor. Here, I can join.
No, give me that one.
I need that one too.
That goes my pinky. And then Sinestro shows back up, and he's like, "Oh my God, look at you, Hal! You're wearing my rings. This is amazing." Like, and he's like, "You have no idea what you're doing. Like, you merely adopted the dark." Like,
There is no way that Sinestro would be fine with Hal Jordan
thinks
grabbing
it's
a bunch
funny.
of rings.
He thinks
Because he'd be like, "You're gonna replace me again?"
No, he's not like
no!
that.
He's gonna corrupt you. Your mind.
I
now.
like that idea, but it's more like he's just like, "Wow, look at how desperate you are."
Yeah. Hey man, I was Parallax. I destroyed the entire Green Lantern with Parallax. Like,
No, it's true.
I'm the ultimate badass with fear stuff.
Yeah,
so
you should be really
you should
worried.
be afraid.
I was like 100 times better than you, Sinestro.
Yeah.
You created a Yellow Lantern core. I had your entity inside of me. Was he inside of you? Because I'm pretty sure he wasn't.
Yeah, did he ever possess you at any point? Like,
Did
no.
he choose you? No, he chose me.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Well, because I'm the best.
And suddenly, like,
Sinestro's like,
ah! Yeah, that's right. Fear, bitches.
So anyway, Batman knocks out Billy Batson, and everyone's like, I think Green Arrow says something like, "We've been living in mortal fear of Billy Batson this whole time. Are you kidding me? Like, Batman, when are you gonna let us in on the plan?" And Batman's like,
Goddamn chump!
Yeah, Batman's like, "That's how I roll, bitch." So the UN basically, by the way, the UN's building is designed to look like the Hall of
UN
Justice.
is just going to nuke everything.
Yes! Oh, way to go!
Yeah, you got
figured
it.
Out. So they're like,
Of course!
now that all these superheroes are there, we could just nuke them all,
Right.
and then that's the end of that. So this is Captain Marvel's move to beat Superman. Because like every time that Captain Marvel transforms, he says Shazam, and a lightning bolt hits him, and he changes into Billy Batson. In this case, Captain Marvel says Shazam, grabs Superman, and holds him against himself, so the lightning bolt hits Superman instead.
He Pikachu's!
Yeah, he fucking Pikachu.
Pikachu's and Super Smash Brothers.
It's also a move he does in Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe.
Yes.
He just grabs you, he says Shazam, and a lightning bolt hits both of them.
Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching, everybody, in this very probably long episode of Back Issues.
Where we just gush.
We just talk about how great this fucking book is. Norman McRae, Norman McRae, Norman McRae.
By the way, this story is a directive from then editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, Jim Shooter, who is responsible for a lot of things that you like and a lot of torment and frustration from your favorite creators during that time.
Okay.
Like he was like the Mussolini of Marvel, where it's like the trains ran on time, but people were not happy. Like, sure, you got a 3 square meals a day, but like people were miserable.
But the customers are happy?
Customers were happy.
All right.
And Shooter had all these crazy ideas, and sometimes they worked, and sometimes they didn't. It's one of those, what's going on? Why is this happening? Let's go back, find out why Johnny's so upset.
Right, why does he look like garbage?
I love it, it's great, because Juliet's like, why, Reed? Tell me why Johnny's so upset. He goes, it's a long story, Juliet, and it begins, and he... You must be told the fate of Frankie Ray, but I suggest you sit down and prepare yourself for the incredible!
Because like, this just turtles my neck.
Everyone talks like this, by the way.
Of course
John
they
Byrne
do.
fills everyone's mouths with like the most half-assed Shakespeare you've ever heard.
Except for Ben.
Except for Ben, who has his own phonetic way of speaking, and it's great. The idea is that like Claremont made Doom look like a chump who was like working for Arcade.
Okay.
And Byrne's like, Doom would never do that. So that's Byrne's way of retconning that
It's
was
a
not
Doombot.
Doom, it was a Doombot the entire time. So Doom asks the Doombot to explain himself, and he's like, well, I was working with Arcade, and he struck a match on my shoulder, and he goes, and what way did you dispatch Arcade for such an affront on your personage? And he says, I did not destroy him because I thought I might have need of him later. And Doom says, need? And as he looks at him, the Doombot just explodes. And he says, Doom needs no one.
Except for you, Christoph.
Learn that well, Christoph. Like, Doom needs no one. No, Christoph asks Doom if he might team up with Magneto one day because Magneto's a badass. And Doom's like, Magneto is nothing. Get out of my sight and don't look at me for the rest of the day. So Doom's like, I've been working on this new machine to get myself the power cosmic again.
Right.
And he's been working with Dr. Hauptmann, who we've seen before. So Hauptmann is the same doctor who helped Doom build the time machine, where he and Iron Man go back to King Arthur times.
Right.
And Hauptmann is like, screw you, Doom, and he like breaks the machine.
Yep.
So little closure for Hauptmann. Hauptmann helps him build this power cosmic machine. And then Doom goes, excellent, well, Dr. Hauptmann, you've been a loyal servant and you've done a great job, and so I think you are deserving of the power cosmic. And Hauptmann's like, no, he's like, nope, I insist, you deserve it, get into the chamber.
I don't want to get in the chamber.
And he is vaporized by the power cosmic.
Oh, I knew you would betray me.
He emits a scream that at one point out volumes the machine itself and then becomes bones and dust.
But his glasses are intact.
Yeah. And then a one-dimensional circle falls from the sky that produces real Doctor Doom. He's like, nah, it's really me.
What?
And he says, like, I abducted you because I want you to look and see that Tyros the Terrible is going to kill your family. And then I'm going to kill you, I guess, or probably. We'll see.
I'm just going to keep you from doing anything about it, I guess.
Yeah, you stay here and watch.
You can't do anything because you're pregnant.
So I put you up
Sue, please. I can't kill you in your condition. So
I'll wait for 9 months.
Right.
And then I'm going to kill you.
And then I'll raise your child, which is actually not too far off.
And I'll replace
So-
Kristoff with him.
Yes, because Kristoff sucks. Kristoff, by the way, has like
Kristoff could go live with Magneto if he loves him so much.
Magneto.
You're my favorite mutant. By the way, Kristoff has like a rich and full history that involves him like becoming Doctor Doom. It's a whole mess.
Oh, okay.
But
Does he
who
have to
cares?
get like burned or?
No. I just mean like
John Byrne.
So Doom abandons his body
What?
using magic, and usurps the consciousness of the dude next to Ant-Man.
Damn it! I was hoping to be Aunt May.
If he could do this at any point in time, why would he keep his like scarred face?
Right? Because
Body.
that's his face.
Why don't I just put myself into Tyros?
Because
or
then I'm a gross alien that's
Why
gonna
don't
die.
I put myself into Reed Richards?
Yeah, well, why doesn't he? Now, also you need a mind that can be, invaded.
The thing.
No, he needs to go into Sue. And then Reed and Sue bang.
And he's like,
And
I've
then
got
he's like,
you!
It's me, Reed!
He's like, yeah, Reed's sitting there like, that was the best sex we've ever had.
Yes, I know! Old friend!
Reed's like, I'm strangely aroused by this. You want to go again?
What?
Fool!
Very well!
So he's talking about how he's so great, and he like took over Apocalypse, and he runs this place, blah blah. Blah. And then Desaad, his lowly servant, is like, yes, but and the planet Earth continually vexes you. And he's like, yes, thank you for reminding me, Desaad. Now he needs somebody to push the buttons and turn the dials. And then he's like, you know what? I've got a plan, and it's gonna be awesome. It's called Operation Humiliation.
That sounds like a goddamn board game.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So then he calls upon his greatest servants, Dr. Bedlam and Glorious Godfrey.
Any
Which-
relation to Gilbert Godfrey?
No, but we can imagine that Glorious Godfrey has the same voice as Gilbert Godfrey from
Of course, that's what I'm doing.
But
I haven't heard him say
but
anything.
by the way, Lil Sal, if he picked this up and like, nope.
Nope. Done.
Nope.
Stupid
Oh yes,
names.
I am so badass, and now call upon my greatest warriors, Fluffykins, and like, god damn it, Glorious Godfrey. And by the way, not the first time these characters have appeared. They've been around since the '60s. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well,
That's why
clearly,
they have stupid names. They've been around since the 60s.
Yeah, but characters, but readers during this time. Oh no,
Dr. Bedlam!
Not Dr. Bedlam. Like, god damn it. So.
Is Mr. Chaos there as well?
No. Chaos is way too antagonistic.
Ah.
Then we go to New York, where, that was end of prologue. Oh. So,
wow,
Darkseid
that's really set up.
Darkseid makes an empty threat and then calls his lamest named characters to his side.
Who presumably are always there.
Oh no, it's great. No, he says, call to me Dr. Bedlam and Glorious Godfrey. And Desaad says, yes, I reminded you about planet Earth because I wanted you to use them in your plan. That's why they're here so quickly. No, they address why. They immediately respond to Darkseid's beck and call in an impossible amount of time. Just say that there's some time between the panels. That's what
Right?
everyone does for no reason. Desaad's like, I did that. You're like, thanks.
It's weird.
Thanks, Desaad. You.
It's because I care.
Yeah, you get.
It's because he was afraid that Darkseid wouldn't actually do anything.
Right.
So he wanted to make sure that they were there so that Darkseid would have to, actually...
Oh, shit, well,
Oh,
if-
they're here. Well, I guess I was just bullshitting about there
Right,
being a
but I
plan.
guess-
I'll come up with one now.
Right.
You brought them all.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's
Desaad.
why I called it Operation Humiliation. I didn't have anything, man.
No, I
What am
was
supposed to do?
humiliated.
Dress them up in clown suits?
Right? It is. His plan is
I have a brilliant plan. It requires, but unfortunately, it requires
Dr. Bedlam
Dr.
and Glorious Godfrey
and
at the
Glorious
same
Godfrey.
time.
And they're not here,
Master,
so...
Master, I already had them prepared.
Oh, great.
Great. Thank
Really-
you. Thank you very much.
He's really
now,
good at-
I can tell you
What my
about
plan is.
Plan.
Right. But instead of doing that, he runs back to his former headquarters at Titan's Tower just to, hang out with his friends because he's feeling weird.
Oh.
And the only one that's there is Changeling, a.k.a. Beast Boy. He's like, hey, man, being the Flash is hard. I don't know if I want to be the Flash. I feel like it's weird, holding, living up to a legacy. Oh, that's Legends. Thought it was called Legacies for a second. But in any event,
Legend.
A legend. Yeah, it does. He actually does say legends. He's like, it's hard to live up to the legend of Barry Allen. And so Captain Marvel fights him.
Sure.
And then Macro Man holds him down, on top of a roof or whatever.
And he's like, oh no, I'm too big and awesome to break free from his grasp, but young Billy Batson could slip through his fingers easily. So he calls upon the power of Shazam. The lightning bolt comes, it hits Macro Man, and it fucking kills him. It burns him alive in front of everybody. And he's like, oh my god! I killed Macro Man! And I love that I keep referring to Macro Man. Poor Macro Man, this character we just created for this story. But they killed Macro Man, and you're like, and so...
Good!
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, but no, the people are like, what the hell's the matter with you, Captain Marvel? Like, you called on lightning to melt your foes? That's how we solve problems here? Meanwhile, G. Gordon Godfrey's like, nah. Captain Boomerang is like, there's no way that we were supposed to survive this fight with this big giant monster. This
was a suicide mission.
Yes! We were only a suicide squad.
He says that?
Yeah.
Yes! It's
And
better
yet-
than so we're some kind of suicide.
No, he doesn't say, so this is it, we're some kind of suicide squad. We're just a gangster squad right here. Well, then Dr. Fate's like, okay, so the Justice League was defeated by falling rocks. Sounds like we need a real Justice League. And so he's like, I was not there before. I'm forming a new Justice League. I think he was he in the Justice League before?
Fate?
No.
No.
While I was not on the Justice League before, I by the power vested in me by being here, I declare there is a new Justice League. Who here wants to join? And Batman's like, me. Martian Manhunter's like, I was on the old team, yes. Guy Gardner's like, yeah, I want to do that. Black Canary joins, Captain Marvel joins, Blue Beetle joins, and what's it called? Flash says, nah.
What?
Changeling.
Because he's still not sure that
he's
he can...
still, and Changeling's like, I'm a Titan, but if you guys want to join the Titans, you're welcome to join me. And then they all fucking laugh at him.
Well, yeah, no.
And Superman... and then Superman looks at the Justice League and goes, nah.
Oh!
And
wow.
then leaves. And then...
What about Wonder Woman? Does she say she'll be on it?
No,
she doesn't answer.
No.
I guess they don't know who she is.
They don't even know who
so
she is.
Fate's not gonna...
Yeah. But then the legends all stand around for a picture that nobody takes. And Phantom Stranger says, see, I knew it the whole time. Behold the legends. Green Arrow is, Kevin Smith's kind of first foray into DC. Mm-hmm. And he's there. I assume that the conversation went something like this. Kevin, you're doing an amazing job with Daredevil. We'd love to have you over here at DC.
Okay.
Would you, are there any characters that you'd like to write for? And he's like, yes, Batman. Well, Batman, you don't just start out writing Batman. You gotta make your bones. No. Okay, well, who's next? Superman. No, Superman a little bigger than Batman. I don't know about that. All right, well, I see where this is going. Who would you like me to write for? We'd like you to write for Green Arrow. Green Arrow's kind of not doing too great. He hasn't been doing too great for a couple of years now. So maybe you could put a shot in the arm. Great, Green Arrow, awesome. Oliver Queen, super cool. He's got the Robin Hood. He's really like a socialist billionaire. And he's like, not so much. He's like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, you see, Oliver Queen's dead.
So this chick is just dealing with this.
Yes, so Mia's being like.
Meanwhile,
Mia is being.
Meanwhile, at the child murderer's apartment.
Yeah, no house. He has a full.
He has a house.
Yeah, he has a pretty house. That comes into play because eventually it will become Green Arrow's headquarters.
Well,
It's this fucking house,
You just get rid of the bodies, clean up some of the blood.
Yeah, and at the end, they're like, well, I guess you just live here, and he's like, that's really gross. Yep. Well, anyway. Yeah. Yep. There's this guy, there's this rich guy named Stanley Dover. Stu's house.
How does she track him down? She follows
She follows him.
Okay.
Stuart Dover.
Is it Stuart?
And of course it's Stuart, and you knew it was Stuart. Stuart Dover.
Yeah, Stuart.
Stuart Dover.
Stu.
So, Stuart...
Hello everybody and welcome to Back Issues. I'm Alan Moore.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Ben.
That's right. We're doing this now.
Welcome to Back Issues, Elmore.
Thanks.
What brings you here?
Well, I wanted to sample Rock Bottom.
Wow!
Ow!
That hurts, man! Right here!
That's right.
You know how to cut right to the point.
I thought it'd be fun to do the worst show with one of my best Superman stories. It's from my collection here, DC Universe by Alan Moore. That's right. And we're doing a story called Superman for the Man Who Has Everything. I don't know if you're both aware of this, but I also wrote a few stories in the Image catalog. I wrote a Spawn book. I wrote a couple of issues of Wildcats. Youngblood.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not above.
No, cash in that check.
Hey, whoa. Don't lump Wildcats in with that. Wildcats was phenomenal.
I'm sure you took Youngblood to a whole new level, though, when you...
Yes! No, in this story, it opens up with on Krypton, and Superman, also known as Kal-El, is walking home, and he's surprised by his wife and 2 children and his loved ones who are presenting him with his birthday present. And you're like, oh, what? Then it cuts to reality, which is outside the Fortress of Solitude.
Cut back to reality, and I don't know that song.
Oh, we couldn't afford it anyway. But Wonder Woman is standing out in front of her in her invisible jet, and she's she meets Batman and Robin.
Sorry, Brookie.
That's so crappy.
That sucked so much.
That's the lightest thing I've ever heard.
Wait, isn't it Eminem though? Isn't he white too?
Yeah, it's a white guy doing
white rap.
Like really crappily.
Oops, it goes crappily. But she is really strong.
They have presents.
Yeah.
What do you get?
For the man who was
everything?
everything? Excellent question. Wonder Woman got Superman a scale model replica of the Bottle City of Kandor.
Doesn't he have
what?
The Bottle City of Kandor?
Yeah, isn't the Bottle City of Kandor its own scale replica
yes.
of the City of Kandor?
Yes, it is.
Did she make it smaller?
No! And she didn't make it. Her gem scientist made it for her. It's all coming apart.
Yeah.
And Superman winds up taking his son Van away from the protesters, and they drive to Kandor, which had been taken by Brainiac.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just a big crater where Kandor used to be.
Okay.
And so they go to the crater of Kandor, and they're just standing there, and he's just like taking it all in, and his son is like, Dad, what's going on? He's like, Van, I was there at your birth. You are my son, and I love you. But God help me, I don't think you're real.
Oh, wow.
Like, everything is starting to come apart.
Oh, shit.
And what's cool is the things that Batman is saying to Clark are resonating into the dream. So, like, you know, he says like, snap out of it, Clark. And then, like, another character will say, snap out of it, Cal. And it's just, it's invading his
things
reality.
are starting to break through.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like when you're having a dream and you hear your alarm go off, and like in the dream you hear
some kind of sound, and
that happened to me one time. Very specifically, I was driving a car and it kept buzzing at me, and
You're
I'm like, "Stop
buzzing!
What's wrong with this fucking car?" And damn it! And I drove to all mechanics and all this shit. It was a long time, and then I woke up. I was like,
I am late.
It's only been 2 minutes.
So Mongul and Superman fight, and he's just the scene between the two of them is just such great dialogue where he's just, because as much of a dick as Mongul was to Wonder Woman, he is equally as much of a dick to Superman, who just woke up from having his heart's desire wrenched from him, and he says, it must have felt like ripping off your own arm. Happy birthday, Kryptonian, I give you oblivion. And then he just grabs Superman by the head, and then Superman just goes, burn. And then just blasts a heat ray across a Mongul's chest.
Wow.
Has Superman ever been this angry in a
never,
comic before?
no. There's no fucking way.
I remember another comic.
Yeah, it
where
was
Superman says burn.
It was in Superman Doomsday Hunter Prey.
Okay.
And he's battling Doomsday. Only in this one, it's cool because the way he says it is just, it's matter of fact.
Yeah, he's not even like pissed. It's not like written huge.
Nope.
It's just
burn.
You're going to burn now.
And just his eyes are red. In the Superman Doomsday Hunter Prey, he has that ridiculous Gambit mask on, and he's screaming, and he goes, burn!
Yeah.
He looks like thrilled or drunk with power. It's messed up. But so then they just prop Mongul up against the wall, and they have a hilarious conversation where, like,
that's taken care of. Let's have your birthday.
Yes, really, literally it. So it's actually kind of funny because, like, it's such a brilliantly written story, and it's so dark, and it's so real, and it's so visceral, and yet you feel the pre-crisis goofiness that Alan Moore's like, don't forget, this is a superhero comic where stupid assholes dressed like lunatics. And so, like, they then go like, her, like, what a day that was! I had everything that I've ever wanted, and then it was ripped off before me, and I guess you did too, huh, Batman? And Batman's like, I sure did! My dad wasn't dead, and my mommy was alive, and I got to marry a woman and was happy, and I didn't dress like a bat, it was great! Her. And Wonder Woman says, I wish I could have had that experience! I wish I could know what my heart's desire was. And you're like, what? We just went through establishing that you don't want your heart's desire because it will be wrenched free from you. And you
it's
will
horrible.
It will be like ripping off your own arm. Wonder Woman, what are you saying?
This is amazing.
What the hell? And so they're just like, what are we going to do with Mongol? And they're like, maybe we'll throw in a black hole. And then you just... And I guess that's that. And then Wonder Woman's like, well, I guess it's gift exchange time. So then she gives Superman the scale model replica of Kandor. She's like, it's a real city. My what are they called? Gemsmiths constructed a perfect city. It's exactly like Kandor. And Superman's like, oh, cool. And this is Alan Moore playing with pre-Crisis Superman, who is immeasurably powerful. He's so fast that he's able to say his sentence and fly away from the sentence and return back to the same spot he was without anyone noticing that he wasn't finishing his sentence. So he says, that's just... And he flies back into one of his trophy rooms, takes the scale model of Kandor that he built for himself and puts it in the closet. That's fucking great! And then goes, that's just great. Thank you, Wonder Woman. I know just where to put it.
Oh, we can all go there together. Look, there's this empty space for it right here.
There's a bottle city of Kandor-sized space.
Right here. Right in my crying room. So, right in the Hall of Regrets. So, maybe we could prop Mongol up in there. So anyway,
who's this chick in the tank?
Who's the chick in the tank? That's a great question. That's part of the technology that he's working on, but he needed another piece of technology in order to create Hope.
What?
Hope is the chick in the tank.
That's her name? Her name's Hope?
Yes.
Hope.
But we see Superman kind of like create a problem with her because, you know, he's like, why are you capturing
like,
people?
you can't kill people.
Your job isn't to capture and then murder them. You're not judge, jury, and executioner here.
Right.
So she's defending herself and she tries to get away, revealing she has like electricity powers. Doesn't matter because, you know, whatever. Yeah. Superman winds up fighting her. And then Superman uses his heat vision to blast a hole through her side.
Oh.
And when he does that, it reveals that she has circuitry. I guess Superman probably used his X-ray vision to see into her.
See that she was a robot.
And he's like,
instead of just being like, oh, fucking fighting me?
Yeah. No!
Kill! Blow a hole in your side.
But by the way, we're never treated to that moment. We don't get to see Superman actually, like,
so
deduce
we don't know.
So we don't know if Superman's just like, fuck this bitch. Or if he's like, oh, you're a robot. Fuck this bitch. Like, either way, he's like, fuck this bitch. There's something inherent within humanity that makes them almost better. And will probably surpass them.
Is it humanity?
I mean, probably. No, there's something, like, genetically speaking... But also it's humanity. It's like the human heart or something.
Or willpower.
Our indomitable spirit.
Yeah.
But, so they want to know more. Because also, I think they're trying to make a case for the idea that, like, how is it that humanity could make such significant leaps in technology and fuel efficiency in such a short amount of time? Like, we were, like, scratching at rocks for 2,000 years, and all of a sudden, in this, like, 60-year window, we did all these things. How is that possible? Is it aliens? And in this, it's like... And even the comic books about aliens are like, no. The aliens show up and they're
aliens
like...
are real, but that's not what happened.
And the aliens are like, how'd you do that?
We had some smart people.
It's kind of vexing. Yeah, we're just really that good at it. So
how'd you do it?
So one time, Rick Jones decides, screw Captain Marvel, I'm going to start a singing career. So, but he constantly is, he's like, whatever. But the reason why he can't forget about Captain Marvel is because they're psychically linked. So when Rick Jones is like, you know, masturbating or like singing a song in a club, Captain Marvel can be like, Rick, don't forget, I'm in the negative zone.
So I see what you're doing. For you to switch places with me.
Yeah, you could just be like taking a shower or in the can.
Have you no shame?
You could just deuce in the negative zone. And that
hey, if you're on a hot date, maybe you have to switch places with me.
You could help out your old pal Captain Marvel. Don't forget, there's going to be this Kree-Skrull War happening pretty soon. Because that's what the story is called.
Right.
When
Wasp and Yellowjacket were on their way to the Arctic, they found that there's like this lush green forest that's emanating from like a big weird machine. And they're like, that's weird. Then they get like attacked by a giant like bug.
Oh, is it like a wasp?
It's like a dragonfly.
Oh.
But it's like a prehistoric dragonfly. And Hank
Because
Pym
it's giant.
And Hank Pym figures out like what's about to happen. So then he backhands his wife off of the dragonfly.
No! What? I have to hit her.
I gotta hit her.
It's in my contract, once per comic.
He says, sorry, honey, no time to explain, but this is the way it's gotta be. Wham! And then knocks her off the dragonfly. The other caveat of the story is that this is where we start to see the romance between Scarlet Witch and Vision.
Oh.
And it is a doozy, because they're both strung up in Ronin's stronghold. And
all they can think about is banging each other?
Yes. And so they go in for a kiss, and you're like, oh my god, what? And then Vision goes, no! Oh, I ripped the comic.
Oh no!
It was $1. So then Vision goes, no! I can't be with you! And she's like, what's your problem? He's like, I am but a robot! I can't possibly love you!
Oh, such pathos.
And then Ronan's like, ha 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 ha!
He goes, oh, look at the robot wants to fuck the chick. That's amazing.
It's hilarious.
This is great.
Can you imagine if you wanted to like bang a chick?
Like a tear of Motorola falls out his cheek.
As if you could have a heart or feelings.
Why must you always do this?
Ronan's in love.
Sentry's in love with Ronan.
So familiar, huh, Sentry? Oh man, no. No, the Avengers are like, what? This is outrageous. There's no way. You know, we'll go to the hearings and speak on Captain Marvel's behalf.
I'm sure this will work out for the best, because people aren't sensational.
Oh, yeah. No.
They're not given to fancies of whimsy.
Well, actually, before they even get a chance to talk to them, Carol Danvers, who would eventually become Captain Marvel herself, and at this point or another is like kind of inexorably tied to Captain Marvel, the Kree.
Okay.
But she... let's suffice it to say, she and he have a history. And so she shows up in a helicopter at Avengers Mansion. And the helicopter gets engine failure, and so it's going to fall. So then Captain Marvel flies out of the Avengers Mansion, saves the helicopter, and then lets her in. And she's like, yo, the Earthlings are going to give you a hard time. You know, all of us. They're going to give you a hard time. They're never going to stop. Why don't you come with me to a farm where you'll be safe?
Where you can live out your days.
Yeah.
Have room to run around.
Play with all the other aliens.
Right.
So, literally, like, she's just like, get in my helicopter, you know, this really reliable...
The one that just fucking broke down.
And we'll leave, and I'll take you to the farm. And he's like, I shouldn't run away. And the other's like, nah, you should go to the farm.
That sounds like a good idea. Then we don't have to really deal with this anymore.
Yeah, well, then we'll speak on your behalf again at the anti-alien.
In the meantime, you'll be safe.
Yes.
But you won't be there to speak on your behalf.
Right.
So you won't have any record of
so
what
they
we
won't
actually say
arrest
to
you.
the committee.
Well, yeah, so they won't, like, attack and arrest you. And, like, Nick Fury is tasked by S.H.I.E.L.D. to go and, like, apprehend Captain Marvel and deal with this rogue helicopter that's here to rescue him. And Fury winds up doing like a couple of like maneuvers around the Avengers. He's like, I got this craft is giving me a really hard time. I gotta spin around, and he's like interrupting other flight paths so they can't give chase. He goes, okay, now that I've finally gotten control of my craft, I can go chase after the helicopter. And Craddock's like, you dick. And Fury's like, I was around during World War II, and I am really, really like offended by what we did back then, because we had these things called Japanese internment camps. And I'm like, wow, way to fucking call out the internment camps.
Yeah.
An angry mob storms Avengers Mansion and trashes the place. And then the Avengers come home.
Let's trash their stuff.
Yeah, so then they leave, and the Avengers are like, what the fuck? And then,
what the hell, Jarvis?
And then Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor show up.
Whoa.
And they're like, you really botched the Captain Marvel thing. You're all fired. The Avengers are over. Bye! And then they leave. And the Avengers are like, what? Okay, well, I guess that's that. So then they leave.
Got kicked out by the real Avengers.
Yes! So then they leave. And then Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man move into Avengers Mansion and resume business.
Where did they go?
Who, the old Avengers?
Who cares?
Oh, they were going. They're like, I guess we'll go to the farm. That's where all useless superheroes go. So Captain Marvel's strung up, and like the Skrulls are like making fun of him and stuff. And they also have Carol Danvers. She's strung up too, and she's really a Skrull, but like it's all deception to get Captain Marvel to build a device for them that they really want to use in the Kree-Skrull War. Remember, there's a Kree-Skrull War going on.
We've barely seen like not 2 panels of.
Yeah.
Right.
And we want this planet for a strategic battleground because don't forget, there's a Kree-Skrull War going on. So then he meets, we meet up with the Emperor of the Skrull Empire, who is a complete dick, and he has a daughter who's like hot.
I was gonna say who's like super hot, and just
yeah,
looks like a person.
I think she also bangs Captain Marvel at some point or another. But he has this daughter, and she has a much more compassionate mindset. And
which is why she's hot.
Because then she's.
Then you don't want to hate her.
Right, but also like the Skrull Emperor is a complete dick about her. He's like, "Feh! Like of course you have these compassionate abilities. You're a woman. If only I had a boy." Like he's constantly dogging her. He goes, "We were able to defeat even like the ultimate weapon." And she says, "I would be shamed to learn such a lesson." And he goes, "And I am shamed to have had no warrior son to carry on my line." And you're like, fuck you. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Who even asked? We're not talking about that right now.
She gave him a little bit. She gave him a little bit of...
Oh, no, she was like, no, I would be ashamed to have learned such a lesson like the Super Skrull did.
How dare you!
Like, you are so much greater than I. And he's like, and even greater than I because you are such a stupid woman. It's like, I'm trying to give you a little bit of credit. And you're just not even letting me have an inch.
Father, would you care to pass the salad for dinner? Oh, I've only had a son who wouldn't ask for salad.
Are you sure the bowl won't be too heavy for you? Ronan the Accuser has taken over the Kree Empire and put the Kree Supreme Intelligence in a closet.
Also, Ronan the Accuser is now wearing green?
He put it in a closet?
Yeah. Well, he stuck it in like another room, but I call it a closet.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because he's just a big head, so he just pushes him into a broom closet and closes the door.
Hey,
I am the Kree Supreme...
I know you can still hear me though.
Yeah. I'm not listening. So the Kree Supreme Intelligence is locked in the same closet as Rick Jones.
Okay, so they're just chatting.
Yeah.
Rick Jones, do you know anything about the Kree?
Yeah.
I shall tell you.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
Knock, knock.
So the Kree Supreme Intelligence, as it turns out, has been manipulating everything where you went, why do they do that? Was the Kree Supreme Intelligence. Why did that Kree randomly kidnap Rick Jones? Because the Kree Supreme Intelligence made him do it.
Oh.
Because the Kree Supreme Intelligence is like, I know that this whole thing is horseshit and it's not working out for us. And also Ronan like kicked my ass and put me in this closet. That I did not see coming. So while that's happening, the Kree Supreme Intelligence is like, and now Rick Jones, reveal the identity of the 4th missing Skrull from Earth. And it's H. Warren Craddock.
Oh.
Who's like,
Jesus
who's been
Christ.
yelling at everybody. And then he is revealed to be a Skrull, and the crowd of these agitated beat him to death.
Oh my god.
And
that's amazing.
Yeah, and Rick's
Holy
like,
crap.
Rick's like, that is dark. And the Supreme Intelligence is like, yay, verily it is. It is dark. That's fucked up.
What do you care? It's a Skrull. Who cares?
It's just a Skrull. They're dirty Skrulls. In their first adventure, they were turned into cows. Because Roy Thomas is like, okay, the Earth is a staging ground for 2 different intergalactic wars and that are taking place far, far away.
Totally use that.
Neat idea. And then he executed it by being like, but we gotta sell like a bunch of Avengers books, and they have to be exactly like every other Avengers book that's coming out.
We also can't change anything.
No, and it can't change.
Yep.
No, but Wanda and Vision might bang.
Might.
They do.
They never did in this book.
No, but afterwards they
He
do.
saved her.
We set the stage. Yeah. Oh, there's a moment where they're gonna kiss, and then Quicksilver's like, hey! You're a robot. That's my sister.
Get away from my
You're
sister.
a dirty robot.
Yeah, and you're like, and he's like.
So he and Sentry are like, they now have a.
And then they get together, as they should. And I'll see you guys
Those
next
dirty
week.
robots.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Halloween candy there. Nice.
Well, I mean, if we're early, we should probably have some candy.
Or leave Salvus on his candy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's what he gets for being late.
No, don't eat that candy. That's for children.
Hey, you take this candy away from me, I'll kill you.
It's a little extreme. No, you guys don't get candy.
you get this comic that we're doing.
But yeah, we put all the stops for that. We had props.
We did. We had props, makeup, costumes. This time, just good old-fashioned comics, ladies and gentlemen. We're just gonna get started.
Welcome. And maybe some CG bats.
Oh, you know what? I think I hear some right now.
Oh! Damn it! When are we gonna fix that problem?
Yeah, that open belfry I have right over there.
Speaking of which, are you okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, and incidentally, this kind of builds off the back of our good friend Alan Moore. Back in the 80s. Like, the early... I want to say...
books?
He did a book called Tales of the Green Lantern Corps from, 1980.
Okay.
And in it, it introduces the idea... And it was like a one-off. It was one of those, like, oh, gotta write for the fucking... For the big wigs, they want me to write another one of these Green Lantern stories. Here's one for you. And
I assumed in the 80s he's just like, I need a fucking...
Yeah, exactly. No, actually, 1980, he's like, they asked me, little old Ali Moore, to do a Green Lantern story. It's not a main book, but it's gonna be great.
Say little old Ali Moore.
Little old Ali Moore. I like that he's old and grizzled even then. Well, he's got a beard like me. He just looked like me back then. He's just like, yeah, all right, let's do this. Let's do this, all right, yeah. He is aided in this quest by a character whose name is William Hand, which is like Bill Finger, but not.
Oh, yeah.
William Hand?
Yeah.
Yeah. And William Hand is a character that existed pre-crisis and post-crisis and like whatever, and sometimes he is an implied necrophile, and sometimes he is one. It depends on which version you'll deal with.
Ooh.
But he's like a creepy dude who like lived in kind of like the lap of luxury and had a really like loving family, but he was the black sheep of his family.
Was he created as an homage to Bill Finger back then?
I want to say that they like used his name.
Creepy.
Right? Like that's why
reference?
I really don't like it. Like I've heard it said that it's an homage to Bill Finger, but I'm like,
well, it's because,
but why?
It's because William Hand sleeps with corpses, and Bill Finger was trying to rape the creation of Batman.
Oh yeah, by saying that he was involved. Yeah, by trying to claim any kind of creative control over it. Yeah, no. Yeah. And that is when Batman or Batman's clone says, you know, a lot of you guys were dead, so technically you're Black Lanterns. And then produces more Black Lantern rings, and so Superman becomes a Black Lantern. Wonder Woman becomes a Black Lantern, and there's 2 more lanterns ready for fucking Barry Allen and Hal Jordan.
Yep.
But Hal creates a chain out of his willpower ring, attach it to Barry, and then Barry runs faster than the rings.
Okay.
But they're chasing him.
Okay.
So then Barry...
That's amazing.
I know.
That's really cool.
And the way they outrun them is by Barry he runs so fast! And I hate saying that because that's literally... That's the cool... because every time...
So powerful.
No, it's because like every time... So then what does Barry Allen do? Well, then he runs faster than he ever did before. That's the story of every Flash story ever.
It's dumb when you say it like that, but it can be
Well,
cool.
how does he do it? Well, he just tries to run a little faster.
Well, how do you ever win a race? You run a little faster.
You run a little bit faster.
He taps into the Speed Force a little bit
more
than he ever usually does.
Yeah.
There's a few moments that like take them off the table because like you can't have Scarecrow save the day. But like
no.
But Scarecrow is like,
does he do anything cool before?
Yeah, he kills some bad guys, but he also goes like, "Oh my god, people care about Scarecrow." I'm gonna do it! And then Lex Luthor goes, no, you're not. And then he punches him in the face. He's like, okay, everybody give me your ring so that I can take over and become super powerful. And then, like, everyone's like, okay, Luthor's gone AWOL. Yeah. Like, time to go. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Ben.
Thanks for watching.
So, I'm just gonna go ahead and address the elephant in the room.
Thank you.
Sal, you are clearly turning into a werewolf.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been paying attention to this, but you have hair everywhere.
All over.
I'm Italian.
No, I'm not. I understand the Italian thing. We're going beyond that.
Yeah.
It's more like you're 5 Italian men.
At the same time. That sounds really...
Yeah, I mean, you have fangs, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Here. Look. See?
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Yep, so...
I mean, there's really only one thing to do. I'm glad I always keep a silver bullet on me.
What?
Yeah. You don't keep silver bullets handy?
No.
Oh.
Well.
Well, lucky for you, we do. Because, Otherwise, this would be a real problem.
Yeah, we would not be able to kill you. And then,
Exactly.
You know.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Oh, I said I was going to kill you.
Yeah.
You took the candy away from me. I mean, that was it. That sealed your fate. But now I have a justifiable reason.
Yeah. I mean, you're becoming a werewolf. We can't let a werewolf live. I mean,
not at all.
No.
I feel okay.
No, you may feel okay, but like at some point you're gonna turn on us, and
it's
I really
gonna bite and scratch, and it's just gonna be
I'm
bad.
itchy, but I don't want to kill you guys.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't,
you know what? This is happening, so you should probably just make your peace with it.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's been fun.
Yeah. But.
Oh crap!
What?
We killed him, and now we can't do any more back issues.
Yeah, no.
I
really
did not think this through.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could try.
Yeah, like I suppose we could read a lot of different comics.
Yeah, we could become experts on comics. And like. No, you know what?
That sounds
I
like
said that,
no.
and immediately I'm just like, I don't want to do that.
No, I can't.
Sorry. That's a lot of work. Yeah, no. Well, we're just gonna have to bring Saga back to life.
And you suggest that how exactly?
Well, I mean, you know, we just read a book wherein characters who died are brought back to life by, you know, a Black Lantern.
Yeah, but we are not Black Lanterns, and we don't have any Black Lantern rings.
Actually, we do have a Black Lantern ring.
Where the hell did you get that?
I'm just gonna read this incantation from this book here, and this should do it. Let's see. The blackest night falls from the skies. The darkness grows as all light dies. We crave your hearts and your demise. Nothing's happening. There's more. By my black hand, the dead shall rise.
Was the father also European?
No.
So it was American.
Yeah.
I was really hoping it would be Batroc the Weeper.
That's why there's
You cannot resist my charm.
I was like, no, I can't.
No, I can't.
No, you are so overwhelmed by my French accent and my baguettes.
No, I am not.
Oh, she loves me.
He's Pepe Le Pew. So he's like, yeah. So rather than do that, we made Gwen Stacy cheat on Peter Parker and bang this other dude and have kids and then die. The dude in question, this is the thing that's going to make everyone freak out. Because they already know, and they're going to lose their shit. Because, like, it's such an offensive decision to make. And I know the Marvel editorial is like, this is amazing! She bangs Norman Osborn.
I fucking thought so!
Yeah.
That is so gross!
She couldn't resist his animal magnetism.
No.
He was so charming
Oh.
that this 19-year-old girl banged this 50-year-old man. Who's also Norman fucking Osborn. But, so then she's like, you'll never have these children. You'll have these children over my dead body. And he's like, oh, yes, indeed, you will. Yes, maha. And you're like, okay.
So he's planning to kill her?
So, Green Goblin killed Gwen Stacy because she took his children away from him.
God damn it.
Not because it was Spider-Man's girlfriend. That was just an added bonus.
Fuck you, Straczynski.
And then the Grey Goblin shows up, smashes through the window, and fights Spider-Man. And then, like, Sarah shows up. So, like, when Sarah's like, no, we're not going to kill him, he's like, oh, well, then you're for naught too. I'm going to kill you. So then she shoots his Goblin glider, and then it explodes, and he, like, falls in the ocean and, like,
What a
wakes up.
shitty design for a Goblin.
I know, right? You shoot that one thing. Well, it's literally just like a pipe with gasoline in it, and just like the design is so simple. It's nothing but a bomb. Like it's by pure magic and accident that it flies at all. Like
The Spider-Man's like, why have I never tried that?
yeah, I should just shoot it.
Man, my webs are in effect.
Yeah, Since Pass is fucking garbage, and I hate it.
I hate it so much I have it in bags.
I fucking bought these when they were coming out. I was like, what is happening? What? No. Like, each issue, I'm like, what? No. Huh? Fuck you! Are you kidding me? Thank God it's over. And then they, didn't reference it anymore, but then they keep leaving it. They keep letting it be in continuity. They keep letting it still happen.
I'm still stewing about the fact that she slept with Norman Osborn.
Well, I think we're all
disgusting.
So is everyone. For 11 years, people have been like, fuck this.
Well, I mean, the kids were stewing in it, literally.
Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
Tiffany.
And that was Tommy Lee Jones, as O-Face.
Sorry. One more time. Here it is.
Stop showing it!
Do they really do that?
What?
They
Trade partners?
They trade partners? Is that the secret?
More or less, yeah. One villain in particular destroys the X-Men. I don't think they've even met in the current Marvel Universe.
Oh.
And he does so in a deliciously mysterious fashion. We'll get into that in a second. But the Hulk has... There's a really half-hearted explanation that, maybe the gamma irradiation from being the Hulk made his brain... made him crazy.
Okay.
And so as a result...
it made him Hulk, and then it made him...
And then over time, the longer he survived and the longer he became the Hulk, the more crazy he got. And then the more rednecky he became. Because he reasons in his gamma-irradiated mind that the only person who can, as he puts it, keep up the pace with him sexually is his cousin, Jennifer Walters, the She-Hulk. So he bangs the She-Hulk, and they have retarded cousin babies.
Oh my God. Is this an Ultron mechanic?
Yes. It's actually also her husband. Spider-Man's daughter, aka Hawkeye's third ex-wife, remarries Ultron 8.
What?
Because that'd be cool and funny.
Wasn't Ultron trying to destroy humanity?
Yeah, that was one of them.
How does that work?
Yeah, how do they make that happen?
Does
maybe
he have gear?
I don't know. He's got gears.
Yeah.
So it stands to reason that maybe he could make one.
Oh my God. Why would she want to marry Ultron 8?
He's been a better father than Hawkeye's ever been, as she says in the book.
Does he have emotions?
Yeah.
That's like a joke.
Yeah.
Ultron 8's a better father than you ever were, Hawkeye.
Yep.
Yep,
and then we move on. By the way, nothing thankfully happens to that family. I'm happy about that, because they're the nicest people in the whole book.
Ultron 8 is one of the nicest people in the whole book.
Which is a joke in and of itself. The whole damn comic.
Him to fight back.
Because he's a puss in this book. He's like, oh, honey, don't get upset.
How does Ultron become this, domestic house husband?
There's no explanation whatsoever for it. I don't know.
Alright.
It's on that road trip that Wolverine reveals what happened to him to make him Logan and not Wolverine.
Okay.
And the thing that happens is, Wolverine is at the X-Mansion with the X-Men, and all these villains attack. The wall explodes. Oh my God, all these villains are here. And so Wolverine pops his claws, and he murders all of them. He's like, "Rah!" And he bathes in their blood in this, obscenely gory scene where he just, I'm killing everyone, and where is everybody? Cyclops, Storm, where are you? And as he's plunging his claws into the belly of Bullseye, Bullseye goes, Wolverine, what are you doing? Why are you killing us?
Oh my God.
And then he blinks, and it's all the X-Men. And Mysterio goes, meh, thanks a lot, and then he leaves.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Is that Jubilee there?
Jubilee was Bullseye. Jubilee's the last one he kills.
Oh, no.
She's like, you're killing us, Wolverine, why? And so Wolverine kills all the kids, and, there's this cool fight where Banner beats the shit out of Wolverine, but as Banner. He's got, the Hulk strength within him.
Oh, okay.
And then Wolverine fucking plunges his claws into his stomach, and then he hulks out. And he's this big, clay-face-looking, old, garbled-up Hulk monster.
Ew.
And then he eats Wolverine, and one of the Hulk kids, besides the baby, survived. And he's like, Pa, what happened? Oh my God, Wolverine killed us all. He's like, nah, Junior, I got the baby, we're all good. And he's like, and I ate him up. And then he's like, oh no. Wolverine regenerated in his stomach and then blasts out of it with his adamantium claws. And then steals the baby.
Okay.
And then rides up into the sunset.
That's his baby now?
With the baby?
Yep.
With the Hulk baby?
With the Hulk
What's he
baby.
gonna do with that Hulk baby?
Raise it.
Oh my god.
And he's gonna use it in his new war to take back America.
Which he already waged, because he already killed
he killed
most of the bad guys.
Yeah.
I guess he has to get Doom.
He's gotta get Doom.
He's gotta go after
kill
Spider-Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Never sequeled. We don't see anything more.
No, of
and you don't
course
need
not.
it. I mean, they're gonna do it.
Do they literally ride off into the sunset?
Take a look.
So why would he should know that Wolverine's gonna just regenerate in his stomach, right? Like, why would he eat him?
I think he just didn't think of it. I think he's like, I'm the Hulk. How could he?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like.
Yep. He rides off into the sunset with a Hulk baby.
With a Hulk baby.
Oh, and there's like townsfolk.
Yeah, and they're like, "What are you gonna do, Wolverine? You're a fool."
Oh my!
That Hulk baby will turn on you.
No, I know they don't say that.
Originally, you thought what he did was he possessed Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, and then used it to screw over Thor.
Okay.
But then later, it turns out that his business was much more nefarious.
Naturally.
So, and you'll find out more about that later. Okay, it doesn't matter. So,
he possessed his hammer?
Yeah.
So the hammer's like, ooh, I'm gonna get you.
More like it betrays Thor, like it doesn't listen to his commands.
Like he swings it, and it like swings back.
And like hits him in the face, and it says, "Why are you hitting yourself?" But it's during this period where like Thor talked like a Shakespearean jackass, so it's like, "Why art thou hitting thyself?
Thwacking yourself."
Yeah. He didn't always talk like that?
I mean, he did always talk like that, and then after a period in time, they were like, "This is hard and dumb." And they just knocked it off.
And do his villains also talk that way?
Yes. All Asgardians talk like that. So everyone from Asgard
get used to it.
Talks like
you're at a Renaissance fair.
Yes. And especially a Renaissance fair, because at a Renaissance fair, it's not like they're educated and know how to like write like Shakespeare. These are just people who think they're writing like Shakespeare.
Because there are these and thous.
Yeah, they just think if you replace you and your with thee and thine, that's enough. Also, they speak in like kind of poetic, not poetic in
not actual poetry.
No, just
floral language in a way.
Yes, just flowery language, and they use terms they might have heard or think they've heard, like "by my troth," and "have at thee."
Right.
Someone's next to Odin, they're like, "By your beard!"
Yes, by the bristly beard of you! So, Thor talks to Scarlet Witch, she creates the energy signature, she's like, "Okay, I art going now," and she's like, "Wait a minute, you're not going anywhere without me!" And then he's like, "Oh no, I am," and then she jumps into his portal, and then they both go. So then...
Why is she are they like friends? Well,
yeah, because they're teammates, and she's just like, whoa. It would be like if, if I were gonna go on a merry adventure to fight somebody, and I went to your guys' place, and I was like, "Hey guys, I need like a hammer," and they're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because I needed to like fight some mystical bad guys," and you guys were like, "Are you gonna like, do you need some help?" And I'd be like, "No, I could never ask you to help me," and then like you would be like, "Okay," but Ben would be like, "Yeah, let's go." That sounds like a lot of hassle.
That you know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
No!
Yeah.
No, we must be there for our brother in arms!
Exactly!
All right, Scarlet Witch.
So she gets to be in the story.
Oh, I'm Scarlet Witch in this.
Yeah.
So there could be an attractive girl wearing almost no clothes in the story.
And a character that doesn't talk like a goddamn idiot.
All right. That's helpful, yeah.
Yeah. So she could say things like, "I can't believe what's happening."
So Thor's here, he's saying, "For Odin," and Odin's like right there, right next to him.
Well, that's just a thing that he says. This is proof that these are they're just grabbing things Thor says, and it makes no difference, no bearing on like whether or not it matters.
Right.
Because he says, like, "For Odin, for Asgard," he says that shit all the time. Whether and look, when they're defending Earth itself. Like, for Odin, fuck Odin. How about for, like, the Bronx, where you are right now?
Fuck you!
Like, no, that's my catchphrase.
That's what I say, though.
Even if Odin was right here, I would say it, but not to him.
No, like, when they're defeating, like, subterranean, like, dwellers that are destroying all of Manhattan, he's like, "For Asgard!" Like, Asgard has no bearing on what's happening right now, Thor. That's really inappropriate. It would be like if you're fighting somebody to defend your girlfriend, and then you say your for Julie, your ex-girlfriend's name. Like, wait, whoa, what?
Is like, what?
And it's like, I used to say that a lot. It just became a thing.
It's not about her. It's just a thing that I say. It's like my catchphrase.
Well, could you come up with a new one?
No, it's if you have a problem with this, that's
on you.
It's got nothing to do with me.
Why are you being self-centered about this?
Yeah, listen.
This is for Julie.
So he like summons Mjolnir, and then he's like, "Okay, strike. Use your crazy, amazing energy to blast at Thor, or to blast at my enemy." And then Thor is like, yes, Mjolnir, listen to your master! And then it just fires backwards and shoots Enrak, because after Scarlet Witch used her magic to follow the energy trail, she also removed the enchantment that Enrak had on Mjolnir in the first place. And so Thor...
Did she mention that?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not when it happened. No, after they strung the trap.
She explained.
In classic Holmes-esque fashion.
Right.
It's after the cool moment has passed.
Well, how is he able to call Mjolnir to him then?
He doesn't. Thor lets Mjolnir go to him.
Oh, because Thor knows.
Yes, Thor's aware
okay.
that he's going to
So
try
it's all
that
a
trick.
trick.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's all
All
a
right,
ruse.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool little moment. So then they...
Unless it's, go to him. All right, I'll use this to fly away. Whew. Oh, shit. Oh, that's not
No,
what
he
meant to
can't
happen.
fly with it if he doesn't have it. If he's not in it, he can't
That's
do
right,
anything.
that's
with
right.
it.
Joke, Ethan.
So
that doesn't work because it wouldn't happen.
well, it's a bad joke because it wasn't deeply rooted in fact. While that's happening, Heimdall, the All-Seer for Asgard, is attacked by an unseen foe. It's Thanos, because the book's called Thor versus Thanos.
Right,
So-
right.
I forgot the entire time that Thanos was going to show up.
Thanos is in this book, you guys. Meanwhile, Thor has to fight Mangog, and Mangog's so fucking powerful and shit.
Right.
And then Thor's like,
Super
that's
hard.
right, I can't pierce your hide.
Right.
So then he shoves Mjolnir into his mouth, and he fires all the energy into his organs and kills him.
Oh, shit!
Which is
that's awesome.
arguably the coolest moment of the story.
So here's Thor killing Mangog.
Yep, just shoves his hand right in his mouth.
Yeah.
Gross.
It's pretty rough.
You hungry?
That is cool, though.
Eat this!
Yeah, he doesn't even say eat this, which I wish he did.
Yeah, damn. Mayhap
Oh,
thou shall be less
He does say
impervious
something like that. He says,
if the blast shall not be
he says,
fired.
drink, Mangog.
Drink liquid
Fire.
death or something.
Yeah.
Drink deeply of Mjolnir's fury unleashed. That's kind of awesome.
That's pretty badass. All right, I give it to Thor.
And he keeps talking. For his most certain, thine internal organs are not so shielded as thine hide. Jesus, you guys
no.
Quit while you're ahead.
Yeah, drink deeply from Mjolnir's Fury Unleashed was enough.
That's enough.
No, people aren't gonna get it.
No,
it's destroying his organs. You see,
We
because
get
they're
it.
vulnerable.
Oh, shut
I
up,
see
Thor!
it. I see it. Jesus, that's what makes the Designate cry. She's like, "Oh my God,
Jesus,
Thor, knock it
Thor.
off!"
He's
And you're-
already dead.
I mean, we kick things off right away. Robin, a.k.a. Dick Grayson. It's before he becomes Robin. He's part of the Flying Graysons. Here, take a look at this one. He's part of the Flying Graysons, and Robin's parents die. Now, in the way the original Flying Graysons died, or rather how Dick Grayson ultimately became Robin is, Dick Grayson is part of the Flying Graysons Act. His parents and he are performing. Tony Zuko cuts the acrobatics line, and so when his parents use it, it snaps and they fall. Sad, whatever. In this one, they perform the feat, and then they are both shot through the head by a sniper.
What? Wait, they kill acrobats by shooting.
By shooting.
The fact that they're acrobats is not even.
They literally, they stick the landing, they're like, yay! So Tick wakes up, and he's like, what the hell's going on here? And who are you? What do you want? And Batman is obsessed with impressing this 12-year-old boy. Why? Because he's a man-child who really, really needs the attention and affection of a 12-year-old boy. Where he's like, this is awesome, right? What do you think? Cool car, right? And the kid's like, what? So then the kid's like, who are you? And this is when he says the line that will be forever next to the Batman character. So he says, here, let me show you. Please. He says, who the hell are you anyway giving me orders like this? And he says, are you dense? Are you retarded or something?
Oh, shit.
Who the hell do you think I am? I'm the goddamn Batman.
Oh my god, that's. Are you retarded or something?
Are you retarded? You 12-year-old orphan
I
kid?
should be asking you that, Frank Miller. Are you dense? Are you retarded or something
That's
that
what
you're writing Batman like this?
He's saying it in the mirror. He's like, that's a good line.
Oh my god.
So, Batman... I'm the goddamn Batman. And everyone... This is like...
That's where goddamn Batman.
That's where goddamn Batman comes from. And the internet is like, thank you.
Lit up.
Thank you for this. We can make fun of you forever.
Yep.
We all kind of assumed you were a little bit out of your mind, but now we're certain you're a jackass. So, finally, forgivably, Batman and Dick Grayson arrive at the Batmobile.
So they stopped driving.
They stopped driving.
Stop swimming.
Look at this fold-out page of the Batmobile. Because you think, like, okay, cool, like, every once in a while they did this with covers, but they never did this with a full page. So that's the fold-out, right? Wrong.
Oh my god.
What? Oh my god!
That's
6 pages!
is the page.
You've got 2 different bat cards.
They got
You've got the
11 different bat cards.
The bat boat, the bat plane.
Is this cool? Is this impressive? Sure.
Yeah,
It
it's
looks
cool.
awesome. I mean, this art is fantastic.
Right. And like they'll never do this again. Throughout the series, he never smiles.
What?
He's always frowning.
You can't have that. You can't have the Joker not
he's
smile.
Always frowning. And I guarantee you, if he saw Batman, he would smile. But we never finished the series.
What?
That's the big. It's ironic that we're on the Joker issue for me to reveal the joke of this, which is that the series
just a joke, is it?
The series was like, I remember between I think issues 9 and 10, a year had passed.
Okay.
Like a full year,
Jeez.
and they hadn't come out. And then they came out with the last one, and then they just said, you know what, the series is canceled.
So here's a question: When
You're like a mime.
when Batman and Black Canary are like making out, do they have sex?
We don't.
Because he's like lying on top of her, and then you get this like lightning bolt,
Almost like it's like him.
and then he asks her if she needs a ride home. Like, oh, all right, we're done. You
Like
need
the
a ride
onomatopoeia of
home?
like, Cthulhu!
Yeah.
That was me coming.
Yeah.
Well, I like to think that it was like premature ejaculation. Spider-Man Reign is literally like 10 years later or whatever. But it can't be 10 years later because Spider-Man is fucking old. And Kari Andrews is painfully aware that you probably have already figured out that this is a parallel to Dark Knight Returns, so he names the reporters after the people who worked on Dark Knight Returns.
Okay.
He literally calls one of the reporters is named like Miller, and the other one is called like Varley or something. It's just Frank Miller wrote and drew it. Lynn Varley did the colors, and Klaus Janson. So it's like, I think it's Miller Janson. Klaus Janson did the inks. So it's like Miller Janson and Varley or something like that. You're like, what? It's just like Dink.
Strange.
Little too
Yeah,
close,
yeah.
but whatever. So
No, not Dink.
well, it's funny because this is a year before they do One More Day, and Mary Jane is the key. Like, Mary Jane is the reason he's Spider-Man and the reason he stops being Spider-Man.
And then
She is-
a year later,
And then a year later, they were like, "Burn!"
at all.
And I think, and you know they were planning it at least a year before, so you know Kari Andrews knows that they're like, fuck Mary Jane. He's like, no! Fuck you! The Hypno Hustler is a really shitty Spider-Man villain.
Sounds like it.
Who existed in one issue. I think they brought him back like maybe once or twice, but like it doesn't matter. The reason anyone knows who the Hypno Hustler is because they read Wizard Magazine back in the day. Because in the Wizard Magazine there was a segment called the Mort of the Month, the lamest characters in comics, and the Hypno Hustler was one of them.
Nice.
Is the Hypno Hustler dressed like a hippo? Because if he was...
That's the Hippo Hustler, and he's not a character. But
no, you could still have Hypno.
No, the Hypno
But
Hustler...
like the hippo is like
the
his
Hypno
eyes
Hustler is an African-American disco king.
I was going to say, does he enjoy the hustle?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. He, in fact, plays the hustle. And
it hypnotizes people.
And it hypnotizes
Does he
people.
hustle
and then he robs
people
them.
out of their belongings?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, he hypnotizes them
They
and then
hit
hustles them.
every joke and reference to the name that they could.
In that book, by the way, was an old Spider-Man, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man issue. I picked it up. Because I read that, I'm like, lol, the Hypno Hustler. And I looked through an old back issues long box at my old comic book store, and lo and behold, there it was for like $1. And I'm like, purchased.
Nice.
And I read it, I'm like, damn it! Because it was so stupid.
Oh, it
And
sucks.
who'd have thought? the Sinister Six like just start murdering people left and right and kicking the shit out of people. And they beat the hell out of Spider-Man, take off his mask, and then it looks like all hope is lost. But then these huge 4 mechanical arms show up and kick the shit out of everybody and steal Spider-Man and leave.
Oh, wow.
And you're like, uh-oh!
Uh-oh, that's awesome!
That's awesome!
Fucking cool.
And you have this really cool image of like Doc Ock just like grabbing Spider-Man and leaving.
Doc Ock looks like he's dead.
He is dead.
What?
The arms are like artificially intelligent. And
they're dragging his corpse around?
yes.
Oh.
What the hell happened to Mary Jane's story?
Right.
Thank
Can we
God.
just explain what
Can we
happened?
just explain what
already?
happened to Mary Jane? The flashback we get is her in a hospital bed dying, and Peter Parker being like, "I'm sorry, like I can't believe that you're here, and it's all my fault." And then some sirens go by, and he's like, "I'll be back," and he leaves. And when he comes back, she's already dead. Oh hey,
Hey, I like this part of the story.
So
Yeah.
No.
so when Peter Parker comes back, Mary Jane has already died of cancer,
Oh.
and her body's gone. He's missed it all.
Because he's radioactive.
Yeah, he reveals by hugging her. Like, Spider-Man is basically, like, crying at this point, holding the corpse of Mary Jane. He's like, "I'm the one who did this to you! The doctors couldn't figure out why you were riddled with cancer! It's because every ounce of my bodily fluids was irradiated!"
Oh
Don't
my
say it like that.
God.
Ew.
Yeah.
You should read the Wikipedia on this.
Yeah, his radioactive spider semen,
Yep.
from all the repeated times they had sex, he was just filling her with radiation.
Yep.
That is... Yeah! My spider spunk!
Yeah, just completely destroyed her.
Yep. From the inside out.
Yeah. They literally say she was riddled with it.
Cancer?
Yeah. Like
Which
every...
is, like, good for them,
Yeah.
right?
Matt Ryder is the guy that Superman is going to.
Okay.
That's the suburban house that he's visiting.
Okay.
But he knows that Matt Ryder is a child who doesn't have any understanding of Superman or his future dealings in time. So Superman's plan is he's going to tell the little boy about how he needs to go deal with Doomsday. Actually, it's more like, I don't even think he plans on going to space. I think his plan is he needs to he's like, you guys are in charge, the linear men are in charge of time, and they know everything. I just want to ask you if Doomsday's still alive before I go out into space.
So he knows this kid is
He knows that Matt
man?
Ryder is a member of the Linear Men.
Okay.
It's a Back to the Future, not Back to the Future. It's a Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure moment where you talk to someone in the present, but because of time travel, in the future they'll know it.
Yes.
So they'll come back in time right at that moment.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's like, he's gonna go, but he hasn't entered the house yet. And then Matt Ryder and Wave Rider show up, and and they're like, "What are you doing in my house? I remember when Superman came to my house for no reason."
Well,
even though I haven't knocked on your door
didn't
or done
I tell
anything
you
yet.
why I came to your house?
Yes, but you haven't. They showed up before.
Yeah, but I showed up.
They showed up before he told them. They don't address it. He doesn't talk to the child. It should be a paradox. It isn't. We have to move on. This book is too long already. So it's funny. Superman is basically like, "You guys are this line. You guys are a real pain. Do me a favor and stay out of my way from now on." Because he's like, "I hate time travel, and I hate you self-important 90s time-traveling characters. Do me a favor and don't complicate my comic books anymore."
Do me a favor and don't try to go to my house when I'm a child, Superman. You started it. What the
He
fuck
might
is
as
wrong
well
with
have
you?
said that. But then Wave Rider says, "Superman, you must be careful about the path you're heading down because it could lead to an apocalypse." I say it could lead to apocalypse. Anyway, I'll see you later.
Yeah, you got to be careful about apocalypses.
That's awesome.
There's always a dark side to an apocalypse.
So Desaad calls the Justice League headquarters, who, conveniently enough, has only one member of the Justice League there, and it's the lamest character ever named Maxima, and it doesn't come with Superman, so it doesn't matter. So anyway, Desaad basically says, do you have any fucking information about how to kill Doomsday? And they're like, you can't. And he's like, fuck. And Superman's like, hey, Desaad, what's going on over there? He's like, oh, nothing, click. And,
what a coincidence.
So, so Superman's like, these pieces are all falling into place. First of all, Wave Rider makes some weirdo reference that I can't quite decipher, and Desaad says that Doomsday's on Apocalypse and killing everybody.
Well, who's Desaad?
Desaad is just a lowly second-in-command for Darkseid. And by second-in-command, I just mean, he is one of the only, lieutenants that survives Darkseid's reign. Okay. He looks like the Emperor, but in a fuchsia outfit.
Oh. Why would they even take his call? He's like a bad guy.
I would take it out of morbid curiosity. Be like, Desaad, what the fuck do you want, man?
Okay.
You know, he'd be like, well, I just wanted to fucking tell you that Moon... damn it, another prank call from Apocalypse. Click. Bertrand is developing the ultimate weapon. And his team of geneticists that look like human beings help him grow like a guy. And they basically grow like this baby. And he's like, this baby is genetically superior. They're basically making Khan.
Like a genetically enhanced.
And genetically enhanced super human that is bred for war.
Okay.
Right? And they're like, let's see how it goes. So they fire the baby into the wilderness, and it is torn apart by monsters.
Yikes.
So then when the monsters go away for the day, they send a research team to collect the material, and then they regrow it from the new material. And somehow the baby becomes more and more resistant to each thing that kills it. And as they keep making a copy of a copy of a copy, the baby becomes more gray and monstrous and Doomsday-like.
That's not how that works.
No, it's natural selection.
No, you need a population for natural selection to work. All with slightly different variations of genes, and then the fittest ones survive.
Yeah.
You can't take one thing and kill it, and then have it get better.
Yeah,
or maybe once in a while
we don't cure it. We take the remaining material and then we regrow it from that material.
That material is the same DNA as the one that died.
You rely on mutations at that point, random mutations, and see if it's better.
No, in fact, they don't even do either of those things. In this, they just say that each time it is resurrected, it has a resistance, a built-in resistance to the thing that killed it last.
Maybe something that killed it imprinted onto it?
Oh my god. You're doing it now.
Some piece of those monsters
imprinted onto him. So anyway, they kill Hank Henshaw. Fucking Darkseid's like, Omega Beams! And they can't kill Doomsday. I know they can kill that guy! And literally, Superman breaks into the command center where Henshaw is, and he basically just says you can't beat me. I'm in all the technology. I'm a blah blah blah. And Superman's like, yeah, but Omega Beams, and he grabs Cyborg Superman and just puts him in front of the Omega Beams. And
wait, so he'll kill Cyborg Superman, but he's
technically not even alive.
That's like killing
He's got
Brainiac.
the consciousness of an actual person in him.
What's funny is it doesn't kill him. It just fucks him up a little bit because Darkseid is weakened. You see?
Yeah, and burns his hair off.
Yeah.
And now he's like Lex Luthor and hates Superman.
Yeah, his hair is burned up, and then he taps into the fucking technology of the command center, and he makes himself into a cool mech monster.
Oh.
But don't worry, because then Darkseid just powers up more and then blows him up. As you pointed out, his costume's ripped, and he's just ready to go. And Mother Box, because Mother Boxes are sentient as well.
Oh.
Mother Box senses that Superman is not prepared for battle. So Mother Box whips up a really cool and rad 90s costume for Superman.
She makes him a combination of Cable and Gambit.
Yes.
Whoa.
Look at all
Does she cut his hair?
No, she stuffed it into his Gambit mask.
Oh, so she gave him utility belts and shit.
Look at all those straps and belts and buckles and pouches.
What are in those pouches? Nothing.
Exactly.
Why?
Well, because the body.
Because he needs the body. He needs a body in order to.
No, I mean, why is he able to make himself back into?
Oh, and he wasn't before in Boss Darkseid. Who the fuck knows? Probably because
Boss Darkseid wasn't made by Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
But Turpin was.
That's
so
exactly
there's a little bit
why.
of him imprinted onto.
You can't start with that. No. That doesn't work. It'll work later. Hang on
I was
to
gonna
it.
say, I'm sure multiple times in this book that will come.
There will. Hold on to it. The monitors, by the way, are all kind of portrayed as vampiric beings, because editors are blood-sucking vampires who just take from their comics.
Wow. How fucking heavy-handed is that shit?
Yeah.
Nice.
And by the way,
they're also in the shape of giant dicks.
But don't worry, because Superman has had enough of Darkseid, and because Darkseid is vibrating at a specific frequency of evil, Superman knows how to counter it.
Okay.
Through song.
What?
So Superman sings a mighty tune, which
which
shatters Darkseid.
What? Fuck you for reading this to us and telling this. This is bullshit.
It's pretty cool.
I love music and I love songs, but this is fucking crap.
Because Darkseid hates music because he's evil.
He wishes for a happy ending, so then at the end of the story, someone gives him a hand job.
What? Oh, a happy ending.
A happy ending, yes. It's
this is not what I meant!
But you know what? It's
I'll take it! Yeah.
But everything's still destroyed, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, it worked out for me, though. How is anyone else supposed to write anything?
You can't.
That's the real question, isn't it? Because that's my problem. That's my whole underlying issue with Grant Morrison, is that he says, and maintains that he loves continuity, and he loves stories, and he loves the history, and he loves all the back stuff. He loves back issues. But
not after today.
I don't agree with Moore about most things.
Right.
But I get why he's not a fan of Grant Morrison.
Yeah, right now I'm not a fan of Grant
I mean,
Morrison.
like, I get he tells some cool stories. He's got some great ideas, but he drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
He is the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Well, he went down the rabbit hole, and
Well, he likes to do that.
Yeah.
And like, he will deliberately, like, he'll take peyote and then write comics.
What?
Because
that's a real fact.
Because that's the most real you can get in a story, man. That's creation.
It's coming right from the realm where stories are created, man.
He didn't write about. He went there. Like, he's watching it all happen.
You understand?
And then just wrote down what he remembered.
I went to the fourth world.
Yeah,
I've been there.
I was there, and they handed me this story, and I thanked them.
Yeah, I am John, and I was handed a great seal. And it was this is the Bible.
And when I took the book, it turned into a dick, and I put it in my mouth. And when I looked up, it was me, and it was my dick in my mouth. What? That's Grant Morrison.
It's a bad trip right there.
Yeah, you don't want to be blowing yourself. So, Final Crisis is metatextual and transcendent and interesting. But deliberately so? That's the thing. For me, like, transcendence comes from telling a story organically, not from being like, I'm gonna write a transcendent opus.
Right.
Like, no. Tell a story.
Don't do that, please.
Start with a story and work your way from there.
If it turns out to be that, good for you.
Right, or if you, you know, you can, and I'm not saying, like, blindly tell your story, go, if only I'd known what I was doing.
Right.
You know, it would have ended well. You know, like, no, like, guide it. But just don't be a dick about it. Is really, I guess, the lesson here. That's really it. Don't be such a dick about it.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
In Lady in the Water by M. Night Shyamalan, M. Night Shyamalan plays a critic.
Right.
And then is like explains like how the story's gonna go and everything.
Mm-hmm. And then it doesn't.
And then it doesn't, and he dies. And it's like M. Night Shyamalan like telling a story about how movie critics are horrible and like, ruin everything.
But what's funny is Lady in the Water is also a terrible story, and it's because it doesn't adhere to the structure of narrative devices.
Yeah.
Like, it isn't an effective story.
Right. And it's another story about stories and like the meaning of stories and the importance of stories.
But unlike Final Crisis, Lady in the Water was unsuccessful. Final Crisis was successful. Commercially.
Lady in the Water would have made a better comic, I submit.
I agree. I agree with that entirely. Although it
Especially
still would
written by Grant Morrison.
Grant Morrison.
Because then it would have sold like gangbusters.
Lady in the Water would have been fantastic if every part was played by Paul Giamatti.
He is so great.
The monitors thing, that's very mean-spirited. It's a very ugly thing to put in your book. That your
employers,
about people that you work for
and work with,
and who are shaping the universe that has created, and you're saying they're all bullshit.
Well, he's saying that what they're doing is wrong. He's saying that
they're vampires. Yeah, and I'm going to kill them.
Yeah, and all that you must kill them with good stories.
It's like if Sal wrote a comic and then reviewed it on back issues, where some guy has to explain comics to like two yokels, and they're the biggest assholes ever because they don't read comics.
Yeah.
And we're like, dude.
And if only you did.
And then they die.
And then they were vicious.
And Sal murders them. Because he has to save the world.
But when I do, afterwards, I'm hailed as a hero and celebrated. I have no comeuppances bestowed on me.
Exactly. Because you had no choice. Because we created the end of the world.
And the audience was like, yes!
Yes!
That's right!
Thank you! See, I'm kind of amazed that DC didn't look at this story
and hey!
We're not putting this out.
It makes me think that maybe DC didn't get it. Which is, like, really scary. Which means that maybe it was supposed to be written. Like, if DC didn't get it, and they were like, okay, cool, vampires and stuff, like, then Grant Morrison's right and Final Crisis is brilliant. But if
No, that's the thing.
That's a good point.
DC did get it.
But they're like, yeah.
You know what? I don't care.
But I don't care.
Because it'll make me money.
You can make me into a clown.
Yeah,
I don't
whatever,
care.
man.
I still get, the money is still green, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, you care about all this stupid bullshit. And the real joke is, like, you're paid half of what you're actually worth.
Knock yourself out. Write any story you want.
Yeah, oh sure, I'm a vampire. Blah. Like, go for it. You can even name one of them after me. Like, go ahead.
You know what?
Just
Put
draw
my family
me
in
Draw
there.
me in.
I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit. I'm a troll. Like, no, they didn't do that. But if they did, like, that's exactly their attitude. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's a fucking business, man. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
They can't all end happy.
I can imagine Grant Morrison like, "Oh, I dare you guys to publish this." Like, okay.
Okay, I didn't even read it. Gentlemen, what would you, gentlemen and lady, what was your experience with back issues? Have you been having a good time? Is this a fun show?
Nah, I hate it. Sucks.
Is anything?
I've wanted this to end for like.
Yeah,
a
I've
long
been to
time
tell
now.
you, 100 is where I
Oh,
stop.
is that where you leave? That's
Yeah.
where you go?
Yep.
Yeah, we're done.
Oh, you're going too?
Oh yeah. I mean, if Ethan's out,
yeah.
I'm done.
Oh.
He's my ride.
Is back issues the same thing as Off the Rack?
No.
Oh.
No, Off the Rack is the show where we review books that are coming out.
Should we get out of here?
What?
Right?
All right. Well,
Yeah,
I think we're done here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ben's leaving.
Ben's
Oh,
going.
all right.
Yeah, that's it. It's the end of back issue, Sal.
Oh.
And I wasn't even really on this episode, so I'm just gonna.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, happy 100 episodes of Back Issues, everybody. I guess this is it. Goodbye.